Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is your girl, Neek, and you are tuned into Neek at Night. Now, whenever I bring up anything to do with the Red Pill community, there is a lot of bozos who have never been here, who come here for the first time. So let me introduce myself to them. Now, my name is Neek, and over here we are the Night Owls. I talk about a variety of topics from news to gossip to checking dusties whenever I feel like it and everything in between. I also am a Black woman who is running a business, and my business correlates with my site, which is a nighttime theme. So on my website, you can find, goodies for the bedroom for men and women, and sometimes when I have certain discussions, it gets people in a tizzy. And I even have adult toys to get the kinks out when you get a little bit uptight and, disgruntled from what somebody else has to say. You can go on my website, shop my website, www.neekatnight.com, spelled exactly like my channel. So now that I've introduced myself, now it's time to get into this topic. So I was minding my business this morning. I had just came back from taking my daughter to school, and my friend sent me a very ignorant post that I felt needed to be addressed because not only was the post ignorant, the comments in said post were even more ignorant and riddled in obvious self-hate. And I just could not address the situation, okay? And we are going to get into it in this video. But if this is your first time here, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yeah, and let's get into it, okay? Let's go. So, a guy named O'Shea Duke Jackson, who I'm assuming he is Red Pill. He does a lot of videos targeting Black women. And, there's this new manosphere of men who feel as though they need to, check women, put women in their place, call women out and things of that nature, et cetera, et cetera. So in his post, he posted up a post that said, basically Black women were hypocritical for saying that white women are taking their culture when they wear French braids. And he has a post of a Black woman with blonde hair and a white woman with these braids, and he says in the caption, hypocrisy anyone. So there was a lot of people who were commenting on this post in agreement and saying, oh, it's hypocritical. How dare Black women wear blonde hair, but then tell white women that they are stealing their culture, et cetera, et cetera. So I seen this, and I was scrolling through the comments, and there was the comments were very much given what I expected it to give. A bunch of rejects who want to criticize Black women, et cetera, et cetera. Now, for the people in the comments and for the people who may not know, there is a huge difference between cultural appropriation and cultural compliance. Okay. And a lot of the issues that we are facing today, in which you see Black women wearing these styles, is due to it being something that has been embedded in us since childhood. Number one, blonde hair is not synonymous to white people. They are not the only people who have blonde hair. I have people in my family who are not in the island, in Africa, where they all have blonde hair. I have literally people in my family today in America who have blonde hair. Blonde hair is not synonymous to white people. Let's just start there. That's number one. Number two, the reason why, and I don't understand how a Black person wouldn't understand this, but the reason why there are so many women who are trying to live up to European standards is because that has been embedded in us since the test of time, and it goes all the way back to white supremacy. If you did not know, our natural hairstyles, the ones that you're trying to call her out on for wearing this straightened hairstyle, our natural hairstyles have been banned in the workplace. There has been lawsuits and everything like that, all the way up to the highest court that there is, because our hairstyles have been deemed unkempt. Our hairstyles have been, told to us since birth that they are not ideal for a professional environment. And a lot of students have been unfairly targeted, okay, in schools because of our natural hairstyles. This type of ideas have carried on from the test of time. So there's a difference from Black women who have been told that their natural hair does not fit the standard of beauty, and a white woman appropriating our culture. Let's just start there for the people who do not know and did not know. There are actual workplace environments that tell us that our afros and our dreadlocks are unwelcomed in the workplace. There are several things that have gone back since the test of time that has been embedded in us. So when I see ignorant posts such as the one that I seen on O'Shea's thing, I just felt like it's very, very, I just don't see how a Black person could feel like, oh, this is a point, like you're really making a point, when if you're a Black person, you know how we got here. You know about the doll experiments, you know about all of those things. So for people to act like this is a point to be made, I just do not understand. But for the people who act as though they are not aware of how we got here, let me refresh your memory on a lot of the cases that we as Black women face trying to wear our natural hair and why we are here today. And I see a lot of dusty bozos in the comments saying, oh, this is a cop-out. This is, no, this is no cop-out. This is what has been embedded in us since the test of time. That's no cop-out. For you to deny white supremacy, for you to deny how we have been here, that's the cop-out. For you to not understand how we got here, that's the cop-out. For you to act like this isn't a thing of Black women being forced to come closer to European standards of beauty, of us being forced to straighten our hair in the workplace, for us being forced to look these certain type of ways, that's the cop-out. But anyways, I wanted to bring up a couple videos that I came across that shows you the environment in which, let me see. Bo L says, no dreadlocks or cornrow braids were allowed in my high school. Right. And that is the case in a lot of schools. And that has been the case for a lot of people. And a lot of people have fought back against that. So when I see posts like this, as if they do not know that or do not know how we got here, I just do not understand. It's just the self-hate and the ignorance for me. It's the ignorance for me, period. Because I just be like, if you want a white woman, just say that. Like, just say that. Because to act ignorant to the fact of how we got here, I'm in confusion. I'm confused. But anyways, I'm gonna go down the line and show you guys all of the cases. If in case you guys forgot, I mean, clearly we forgot.
We have a story from that often explosive nexus between the personal and the political. It involves hair, specifically the hairstyles of young African Americans, and the controversial decision made by one school district that fed into a heated national debate. Here's ABC's Deborah Roberts.
As 15-year-old Ashanti Scott knows, hair can say so much about us. A cheerleader at Butler High in Louisville, Kentucky, she proudly wears hers in its natural, tightly curled state. So she was stunned this year when she saw her school's new dress code policy.
It was the hair, and I noticed that as you kept reading, it just added more and more hairstyles that were natural and mostly worn by Black people.
Did it feel personal to you?
Okay. And this is not just this school. This has been going on in a lot of schools. This has been going on in a lot of workplace environments. This has been going on since the test of times, where Black women have been told that they need to get closer to European standards of straightened hair, not wearing their natural hairstyles, not wearing afros, not wearing dreadlocks. This is something that has been going on forever. So to sit here and call a Black woman hypocritical for feeling like somebody is in their cultural space, not like, I just have a problem with that. Like, we were forced to get here.
It felt very personal to me because I've worn those hairstyles.
It was almost like an attack on me and who I am and my culture.
Ashanti and Mom Attica soon became part of a hot national debate around the country about perceptions involving natural hair. What offended the Scotts is this line in the new policy, banning dreadlocks, twists, afros longer than 2 inches, and cornrows, which is even misspelled. Attica, an outspoken and newly elected Kentucky state legislator, immediately called her daughter's school. But it was after hours, so she did what many of us do when frustrated: turn to social media. On Twitter, she wrote, "So my daughter had registration today, and let's just say she's not happy about the JCPS no natural hair policy." The tweet going viral within minutes.
Now, why not wait till the next day and call the school and try to sort it out that way? Because it was fresh. It was on my mind, and I knew I had the rest of the night to connect to other people who may also have some.
Okay, so that was the situation, and I'm not going to play the whole entire video, but I'm just going to go down several instances of this happening. And these are just instances that have been, that I'm just picking a couple of them, as of what we face as Black women when we wear our natural hair in these environments and how we got here. So let me pull up this young woman who she could not wear her afro. Her afro was said to have been, problematic and unkempt, and she faced expulsion. They told her at her school that by her wearing her afro, her natural hair, that if she continued, she would face expulsion from the school. Let me share this video. And the only reason I'm playing out these things is to show you there's a clear difference between cultural compliance and cultural appropriation. What you see Black women doing today has been a push towards cultural compliance and adapting into Western society's European standard of beauty that has been forced upon us. And when we go into these professional settings where it has been forced upon us to go to these more straightened European styles. So I'm going to just keep on sharing several videos until I feel like I'm done.
Posted the story of Vanessa Van Dyke's fight to keep her hairstyle and not be expelled. You have been flooding our Facebook page with comments. Look at all of those. Today, Van Dyke continues her fight, and Kalorama has been following her story. She takes a look at how all this started.
The teen has been wearing her hair like this since the beginning of the school year, but apparently the controversy started after she went to administrators here complaining about kids teasing her about her style.
It says that I'm unique.
Vanessa Van Dyke's desire to be different has become an issue at her private school. Her look is being called a distraction. According to school administrators, the way she styles her hair is a violation of student conduct.
They just say, you should change your hair. You should make it straight because it's too puffy.
The student handbook at Faith Christian Academy states hair must be a natural color and must not be a distraction. Vanessa's mom wants to know how the school defines that.
A distraction to one person is not a distraction to another. You can have a kid come in with pimples on his face, you know. Are you going to call that a distraction?
Not exactly, but discretion is up to the school. And according to the Van Dykes, Vanessa has 1 week to tame her mane following the school's code, or she'll be kicked out. But that's not something this violinist and honor student wants to do.
So they gave her a week to tame her afro, her natural hair that y'all claim that we, you know, they gave her a week or she's going to be expelled from the school. Okay? You get the point with that one. Also, I want to show you guys this article where this Texas teen was basically suspended because of his dreadlocks. So this is from the Washington Post. And in this post, you see an article where it tells you this student will be barred from graduation unless he cuts his dreadlocks, the school says. A Black Texas student might miss out on his senior prom and his high school graduation ceremony because he wears dreadlocks. DeAndre Arnold, 18, has been growing his dreadlocks since he was in the 7th grade, and he is a student in the Barbers Hill Independent School District in Mont Belvieu, he told Fox. DeAndre's father, David Arnold, is of Trinidadian descent, and men in his family often grow their dreadlocks past hip length, and that's what the teen told them. As his hair grew, he and his mother, Sandy Arnold, would cornrow it down or intricately tie up his locks in a voluminous dark brown and honey gold bun to make sure his hair was off of his collar, away from his earlobes, and out of his eyes, so he could meet the school district's dress code policy. So as you see here, the school had this dress code policy, and often these dress code policies, they target Black people the most. They specifically pick out things that is in our culture and they target that. And that is why a lot of people have conformed to these European ideas and standards of beauty. This person right here was threatened to be suspended because of his dreadlocks that he had been wearing since 7th grade. So, I mean, not threatened to be suspended. They actually suspended him. So it says, they say you can't get around the dress code by having it up, she told Fox 27. DeAndre is now suspended from school. The Arnold family contends the dress code policy concerning male hair was changed in the middle of the school year, they said. The school's district is standing firm on its policy, which states male students can't have their hair gathered or worn in a style that would allow their hair to extend below the collarbone, earlobes, and eyes when let down. So this situation is a situation that went down in Texas, and you can, read up on it here. This is a post right there. Okay. So then you had the workplace situations to where there was bans on natural hair in the workplace. Now, there are a lot of workplace environments where they ban natural hair, and it has been deemed unkempt, undesirable, and unprofessional. And the professional look is the straightened hair. They have often told many women, and this is just one example, but this has been going on since forever, that they have told many women that our natural styles are unprofessional. So let me pull up this article. Okay, so this article right here, it says how natural Black hair at work became a civil rights issue. Okay, in 2010, Chastity Jones eagerly accepted a job offer from Catastrophe Management Solutions as a customer service representative. The offer, however, came with one caveat. She had to cut off her locks. Jones refused, and the company rescinded its job offer. The company's hiring manager reportedly told Jones they tend to get messy. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a suit on Jones' behalf in 2013 and lost. In 2016, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the district court's ruling and dismissed the case. Jones' case is not unique. Cases filed by Black workers alleging discrimination against their natural hair in the workplace have filled courtrooms more than 40 years, yielding mixed results. These judicial rulings, intertwined with changing social and cultural mores, have created a continuous and uncertain legal situation with courts and other governmental entities ruling on both sides of the debate. How did we get here? Anti-Black hair sentiment on U.S. soil has existed for centuries. In the 1700s, enslaved women who worked in the fields usually covered their hair in head rags due to the harsh demands of their work. Enslaved Africans who work in the big house, however, sometimes mimic the hairstyles of their enslavers, either by wearing wigs that had become popular during that era or shaping their kinky hair to emulate them. In cities like New Orleans, however, where free Creole women of color donned elaborate hairstyles that displayed their kinks and coils with an air of regality, the city implemented laws that required these women to wear a scarf or handkerchief over their hair to signify that they were member of the slave class, regardless of whether they were free or enslaved. So that's just just a brief thing on how we got here. But this situation went all the way up to the US courts because of our hair has been deemed unprofessional in the workplace. So this is not just Chastity's issue. This has been a Black woman in the workplace, in the professional environment issue, as they stated, for 40 years or more. This has been something that has been embedded in us since the test of time. You guys all are familiar with the doll experiment, where they have done case studies that the Black dolls were ugly and unattractive, and the kids went towards the white dolls. That's because it has been embedded in us to go to a more European standard of beauty. That is what has been deemed as beautiful. That is what people deem as beautiful. More fair skin, more straight hair. That has been indoctrinated since forever. So when I see Black men post stuff like that, and they don't understand the difference from us being in a white supremacist civilization that has told us since the test of time that our natural hairs are not attractive, professional, and they are unkempt, for a Black man to post something like that as if he does not understand the difference, and other Black men to be in the comments validating that rhetoric as if they don't understand how we got here, that's very concerning and disturbing to me and triggering to me. Now, I'm not a Black woman who does not have accountability and cannot be accountable. I did a video on bonnets where I stated, hey, I don't care if a woman wears a bonnet or not, but us as women, we got to know that it does look tacky. I don't have a problem with, being held accountable on things that may not look appealing, may, bring down our image as a Black race or whatever. And I understand. I did a whole video on it, and I even lost subscribers. Mind you, all of the videos that I do, I gain subscribers for the most part on most all my videos. On the bonnet video, I lost subscribers. but I have no problem with being accountable. I understand that wearing a bonnet, it does not look good. It does not look tacky, but it does look tacky, but there's a difference from a Black woman wearing a bonnet and a Black woman conforming to a white supremacist standard of beauty. Okay. And again, as I end my rant, because I could go down the line, I got way more articles that I could bring up if we want to keep going through them. But I feel like the point has been made, but I can still go down the line. But as I close out of my rant, I just want to say that again, blonde hair is not owned by one race. There are Black people in my family right now with blonde hair, natural blonde hair. A lot of people like to bring up Africa, and where, there's like a whole village where it's natural. It's not just there. It's here too. We have natural blonde hair, period. But if you guys want me to bring up more articles, I could go on and on and on and on. Like for instance, this Black girl right here, she wore braids and she was pulled out of school.
Hey, so glad you're back with us this afternoon. Well, ever since
let me pull up the correct video. This little Black girl was embarrassed at her school.
Before you scroll away, you need to hear this.
Because she wore box braids in her hair. Let me pull it up for y'all. And then I'll invite some of y'all on who want to talk. But I'm just so tired of the ignorance. I'm so tired of the ignorant rhetoric that is representing. I'm tired of the manosphere, the red pill community, and their attack on Black women. I mean, if you want to tell men how to get women, what they shouldn't do, how they stupid for being married, whatever, do that. But the constant attack on Black women is getting a little bit too much. It's going too far. And I'm just confused at how other Black men and other Black women could just be a party to some of the attacks. And I'm just like, I just don't understand. But hold up, let me show this video.
Today, we begin with an issue that has caused plenty of outrage and controversy on social media. A family of a Christ the King middle school student in Terrytown claims their daughter was sent home from school because of her hairstyle. It's apparently school policy for students to have only natural hair, and this student had extensions. Duke Carter is joining us in the studio, and a lot of people are talking about this, especially online. A lot of people outraged by it.
A lot of people outraged. A lot of people have sounded off about this issue, and many folks have spoken that on Christ the King's Facebook page, and many parents I spoke to say it's a pretty sticky situation. So take a look at this video here. Now, as you can see in this video, the child is very upset and distraught, and family members tell us school leaders implemented the policy over the summer. However, they say there was not a notice sent home to inform parents of the new hair policy. They say the young girl attended a teacher-parent meet and greet before school started, and nothing was said to her about her hair being against school policy. But that video has gone viral, and even rapper T.I. spoke about it. He said on his Instagram post in part, quote, "How do you feel that this is a proper representation of what Jesus Christ the King and how he would want us to treat our children? This young lady is beautiful and her hair is perfectly fine." However, here's what parents are saying.
I hope they'll be able to let the child come to school the way she want to come to school.
It was a notice that was sent out, yet a lot of things going and they don't cry over.
And like to see a young girl made to cry and to have to like, what is she gonna do tomorrow? Like I don't understand.
Okay. If y'all want me to pull up some more articles, we can. I got articles for days from a lot of unfairly targeted Black women who was told that their hair was inappropriate and not groomed. So before I do that and pull up more articles, I'll hear from Bullet Scotty.
Hello, how you doing? How
Hi,
you doing?
I'm doing
Yeah.
well.
Oh, okay. I was listening to the videos and about the girl with the braids and all that and the whole controversy, but I just want to know, right? I see the title talking about red pill and the ignorance. I mean, being red pill, right? And this is what people get misconstrued about being red pill. I think a lot of times people think that being red pill is to hate women. I think
I mean,
people.
that's what y'all, I mean, if you're, or do you identify as red pill?
Yes, I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
I feel like being red pill is a lifestyle, which means it's a lifestyle to get away from this sheep type mentality. You know, a lot of us, which is that us believing into the myths of what this world tells us to believe in, which is society has us controlled and believing that everything is real. Like fame is an illusion, money is an illusion. You know, a lot of these things that we watch on TV is all deception to control us and keep us dumb, deaf, and blind. That's what I believe that red pill is about. And I think a lot of times people get it confused with these dudes put the relationship experts and dudes that a relationship advice and they put it out there to make it seem like being red pill is about downing women because it's women that's a red pill. You know, it's
Are
men
you
that's red.
acting as if red pill men are not specifically targeting and going after Black women? Are you acting like that is not something that exists in the red pill community? Are you, because I hardly ever see videos about the illusion of Hollywood. I hardly ever see videos about
A lot of those guys,
all of the videos I see are most oftentimes always targeting Black women.
let me say this. Majority of the men that you see that's talking about Black women or just talking about women in general, you got to understand they about being, politically incorrect. Okay, a lot of us, we don't want to be politically correct. So a lot of those guys are not trying to be.
Are you saying that the majority of the videos are about not Black, but about Hollywood and the delusion of American standards, or is the majority attacks on Black women?
No, because anybody you can be red pill. You just don't know it, but you can be red pill.
Answer the question. The collective of the red pill community, what is the collective putting out? Is the collective of the red pill community, not just me as an individual I could be red pill, not just
talking about Black red
being red pill.
But Nick and Nate, are you talking about
the majority of red pill? Are they making videos saying that people are delusional about Hollywood, or are they making videos majority attacking Black women?
Oh, you talking about the Black manosphere? That's what you're talking about. You talking about the
red pill community.
Yeah. You talking about the Black red pill men. Let me say this about some of the Black. Those guys, they have a problem with, they have mother issues. A lot of those guys. So I understand they come from.
That's what's out there.
No, because a lot of those guys, they want to be famous, and they trying to put out their content, and they not focusing on exposing anything, because a lot of those guys want to be in the industry. You got guys in there that don't want to be in the industry. That basically speaks about the deceptions and the illusions. A lot of those guys don't always have their platforms talking about women. I think when people get misconstrued, they put maybe a Kevin Samuels out there, or this one or that one that you think you see, and you say, oh, this one is like Kevin Samuels never once said he was red pill. He is a man that has a platform that talks to women, and he has the same talking points, but he never once said he was red pill.
I'm not talking about Kevin Samuels. I'm talking about the red pill community.
Oh, I mean, it's a lot. Listen, it's a lot of those guys that are on there that do talk about black women. I'm not saying they don't. But I feel like, it's a lot of. I think black men and black women need to change the way they act. I think a lot of us need to be called out. I think sometimes we have to call out black women on some of the BS that they do, just like black men need to be called out on some of the BS that they do. But me personally, I sometimes have a problem with some of the stuff I see on here that black women do. And I think a lot of times we'll be called dusties and all type of rhetorics and all type of things
Right.
just to be caught up in it.
Somebody in the comment made up a good point. Name the red pill people who don't attack black women, and they talk about the delusion that you say that they talk about.
Oh, name? I mean,
that don't attack black women, and they do what you said that they do. Talk about the delusion.
I mean, a lot of them is not on YouTube, so I can't name any on YouTube.
I'm
That's
talking about the YouTube red pill community, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay.
I'm gonna
You
go.
have. I mean, Nick and Nate, you have guys like, okay, you watch O'Shea. O'Shea is red pill. O'Shea talks about the community.
This video is about, but go ahead.
He talks about the community, O'Shea. And one thing about what I like about O'Shea channel is that he talks about the black community. He talks about investing. He talks about a whole lot of things that what is red pill is about.
Which one does not attack black women and do the things that you described them to do? What did you say red pill was again? The stuff that you just described. Which one does that?
I mean, right now I can't really get on the top of my head that has a guys that don't talk about black women. But I mean, are we wrong for calling out black women though? Like
So
I just want
now
to know.
Now you changing the goalpost. You said that you claimed that wasn't what the red pill community was about, and now you're changing the goalpost to saying.
No, I mean no. I mean the black red pill community is about that. But just to talk about the whole red pill community, because you got white people that talk red pill and they not talking about black women. So the ideology comes from black mainstream, where it was guys like Bill Barr, Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones, and a lot of other guys that were red pill, that were white, that built up, that had this whole manosphere, men going their own way movement. Okay, black men took that over, went and started their own red pill space, which is black manosphere. But at the end of the day, it's two different spaces. When you say red pill, we got to say black red pill, because then we confusing black red pill with the whole red pill community. Because
we're talking about black people in this video, sir.
No, I know that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I think a lot of black men in the red pill space do talk about black women, but I mean, they're trying to correct their women. I mean, in the white red pill space, they talking about feminists. So it's a whole different thing. Black men is talking about the ratchet black women.
For a second, I'm gonna pause you for a second and let you collect your thoughts for a second. Go ahead, gorgeous Elsie.
Hey, Nick. Thank you for having me on. So this whole red pill thing is not, I think that a lot of people or a lot of men, they don't realize that just like they don't want to be grouped into the same group, right? So he's saying, oh, well, not all red pill people do this and not all red people do that. However, to become red pill, that the what makes you viral is you talking about black women negatively. That's what puts you on the map. Now, after that, if you decide that you want to talk to black men about investing and doing this, that, and the third, that's fine. But when you look at majority of these red pill, or I would actually put I'm not a gambling woman, but I'll put my money to say 100% of these red pill men, regardless if they're white or black, but in this case, we're talking about black ones. If you go to their pages and you look at their most viral video, it's a video talking about black women. We're not going to sit there and
go on over to their Instagram and you see who they date. It's not black women at all.
Exactly. So
but yeah, we are their subject matter always. But go ahead.
Exactly. So and to piggyback off of that, I honestly, my little brother was a red pill person, and I had to have a conversation. We're 10 years apart. So I had to have a conversation with him to figure out where was his mindset at, and come to find out his mindset was that he was rejected by the Black women that he thought were so easy to get, because on the way that the media portrays Black women as if, we're thoughts, we're easy to get, and if we're not easy to get, we're a gold digger. So when you got the Jezebel on one side and the gold digger on the other, and you got an average Black man who feels that he should be entitled to our women, as Mr. Bullitt said, I'm not your woman. So for you to sit there and say I should be able to talk to our women, we don't belong to anyone but ourselves. So men who feel that they should have opportunity, or they should automatically have the access to our bodies or the access to us because this stupid thing that we do to ourselves by this, holding Black men down and all this without question, they feel that they are entitled to us. And when we don't give them that entitlement, they open up a red pill page because they're upset. Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. So since they're upset about the rejection of failures. Now, that's the same thing when it came to O'Shea, since you brought up O'Shea, because I was following O'Shea before he became a red pill. So O'Shea actually used to love Black women and talk about them a lot until he got his heart broken in Africa or wherever he was at. And then all of a sudden his content changed. Same thing with Tony Sotomayor. Tommy, he actually used to live in Dallas down the street from my parents. And he used to be cool with all of them until a Black woman broke his heart. And then before you know it, we're all bees and everything else. So the whole, to bring back to the point of this original video, was that meme. The meme is people are in this chat talking about, oh, well, it's because what they're saying is that braids are not a Black person's hairstyle. No, the braids in that picture weren't, because ain't nobody Black wearing their hair like that. But I'm just saying, like, Black culture is commodified and popular on other people's skin, but it's not on our skin. The picture that I posted was the day that I actually got fired from my job for wearing braids. I came to work I had a vacation, we wear braids. I came back and they told me that as a director that my hairstyle was not professional, and they sent me home. So I don't want, all this about Black men trying to tell us what to do. We're going to politicize ourselves. And when it comes to the Monique and the bonnet thing, she was absolutely 115% right, because women need to police each other to tell each other what's going on. This has nothing to do with you guys. This bonnet conversation is between women and women. We know it's unacceptable. So we're going to tell our other females that it's unacceptable because we have a carriage to ourselves. This has absolutely nothing to do with men, but men are coming in and having conversations about it. This is not your space. We don't talk about you and your do-rags. We don't talk about y'all and y'all do-rags, for example. We don't talk about do-rags. I haven't seen one video on YouTube or Instagram going viral talking crap about men wearing do-rags. And y'all wear them all the time.
Respond, gorgeous Elsie.
Oh, can I say this, right? Have you ever read the book, The 48 Laws of Power?
I have it, and I have all of Robert Greene's books.
Okay. If you read Robert Greene's books, then you understand what red pill is, because that's a quote unquote red pill book, just like The Art of War, just like The Art of Seduction. So everything you see on YouTube when these men are talking about being red pill, and I'm gonna keep it real. Tommy has never said he was red pill. He always said that now he used a lot of talking points as red pill, just like Tariq Nasheed used a lot of talking points that was red pill. It's a lot of people that use talking points, but at the end of the day, they are not red pill. Now, O'Shea, yes, he is, but what I'm saying is, a lot of these men, you could say.
I think the problem is you thinking that a person has to, like, for instance, a guy could be a colorist, right? He can specifically not want to date Black women because they are darker than a brown paper bag. He can be like a Chris Brown, right? And only date, the Blasian looking women. You don't have to sit here and announce and say, hey, I'm a colorist to be a colorist. Like, I hope you know that you don't have
to
announce that you're a red pill to
be a part of the community
and display that you're red pill.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying, but I think that what a lot of these men feel like is that in our community we have an issue and we have a problem in our community. As the stereotypical behaviors that we have in our community has to stop. So I think a lot of men and even women, don't want to address these type of topics because they want to stay, PC. They want to, cry the victim. I think what Red Pill is about is not being a victim. It's the understanding what society is and realizing that it's a dog eat dog world. And that's why I always said that I was Red Pill before YouTube. I will always be Red Pill because I understand that this society shit is a myth. It's a dog eat dog world. And it's not about loving because nobody in America loves anybody.
Okay, but you said that before you got on YouTube that you were Red Pill, but then you gave a description and a definition of Red Pill, and you can't name not one Red Pill person who does what you say that a Red Pill person is.
Check out BGS. BGS does that all the time. He uplifts Black people. Go check his channel out. He's about uplifting. Okay, it's brothers that uplift.
Red Pill.
Hey, bro, but the problem,
BGS is Red Pill. He's Red Pill just like O'Shea, and he uplifts.
Can I ask Bullets a question?
I wouldn't say O'Shea is Red Pill, bro. I would say he the Black. What is that? Manosphere or whatever the fuck. I mean, whatever.
Manosphere.
I would say.
You're going in and out. Your service is bad. Come back in. Go ahead and ask him a question, Gorgeous LC, and then I'm going to add Conscious Progress after that.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Bullets. And I've read those books. I have them on my bookshelf. So, but my question is that okay, so the Red Pill community from the outside looking in. Now, you stated that were a part of this. You self-proclaim you've been a part of this community prior to YouTube or coming to this space. Got you. So my question is that it seems from the outside looking in that majority of the Red Pill's comments is based off of misogynoir and misogyny, basically trying to control or to dictate what they feel that men and women should do. However, I don't see these black Red Pill men making videos talking about themselves. Where's the video talking about the multiple baby mama issue? Where is the issue? Because it seems like when it comes to baby mamas, it comes as if, oh, it's the woman's issue for not keeping the man. But yet men have 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, whatever, million kids and babies all over the place. They don't take care of their responsibilities. Where are those videos at? Because it just seems like it's the Red Pill community is always pushing about male-female relationships, but y'all need to check y'allselves. Because as soon as Black men become stronger Black men, then we can become stronger Black women. Y'all want to be the leaders, but yet you're not leading. The reason why our community is the way that it is because y'all want to be leaders, but I don't see any Black male leaders.
All right. Conscious Progress.
Hi, Neat. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good point, C. I wanted to call in to talk about the hair situation. I feel as though a lot of Black men have a lot to say about how Black women wear our hairs in a public setting or how we wear our hair to work or to any professional environment. But we are answering to white men. Okay, those are the men who are in power. Those are the men that we are going to work for most times. If you don't want your race of women wearing what you deem white woman hair or whatever, then start providing the jobs, provide the infrastructure, hire us so we can come and work for you. But until then, I just see a bunch of men complaining who are powerless. They don't provide any infrastructure. When we go to work, when we go to these functions, when we're leveling up in our professional, career, we are answering to white men. So we have to adapt to that standard to get hired, to remain hired. So that's what I don't understand. It's simple. You don't like the way your woman has her hair, provide the infrastructure, provide the job. Then we can come to work every day with our hair unkempt, just afros and whatever the case may be. That's what I have to add.
All right. Prince Adam.
It's Atem. Thank you for having me on your stream. And I like your YouTube videos and you're really pretty.
Thank you.
Originally the Red Pill philosophy, it was supposed to expose manipulation tactics between both men and women and to better yourself and to improve yourself. initially. Unfortunately, over time, more and more people started to vent and then pour their hate and anger and just issues they had, and they said, "Oh, this woman hurt me, da 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 da," or "This woman did this, da 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 da." And then there are typically younger men or just men, younger men and older men. They're like, "Oh, okay, this woman did this to you. Well, she does this to you. Oh, she's a BIDCH, or she's da 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 da." And then they start to like spread the word, like, "Oh, all these women da 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 aren't this and that." And unfortunately, over time, it's just been like, what's the word? Like where something lost like its original meaning of the, what's the word?
Basically, it moved the goalpost.
Basically, originally, and there's actually 4 different pills. These are really just philosophies. It's what started off as. There's the blue pill, purple pill, red pill, and the black pill. The black pill is where the incels are. That's really where they mainly dwell. Unfortunately, a lot of incels are mixing up their philosophy with the red pill and the black pill, and now it's a little bit incel-like, and that's not really good in general.
Yeah.
Hey,
The
Nick and Nate.
ones who want to
But
get
not
married.
every red pill person, just a lot of them are starting to. There's not really people correcting them. You know what I mean? Not every red pill YouTuber, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, and then purple pill is the one that marriage, right, or something like that.
It's
That's
where
blue. That's blue and red pill. That's the blue and the red pill merged together. That's if you got red pill point of views, but you still move like you a blue pill.
So red pill is supposed to be awareness, right? Have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
It's all
That's
about
where
escaping the matrix.
Yes, that's where the philosophy is based off. The blue pill is just ignorance. Red pill is awareness. So if you mix awareness and ignorance together, you get the blue pill. I mean, no, you get the purple pill, excuse me. And that's not.
Yeah, and that's what it originally was about, and that's not what it is about today, basically.
Majority of some of them.
You were right. It was majority. Majority of them are incels. You were right the first time.
And then there are some, I hate to, but there are also some female YouTubers who also make videos too, who are, well, we call them the pink pill, technically, not necessarily red pill, but they can be red pill too, who also vent about men. But there are always positives and negatives to venting, right? You take the meat and throw away the bones, correct? So like, learn from their mistakes, apply it, don't make the same mistakes that they did, and learn how to avoid this person and better yourself. That's really the whole point of all this was supposed to be. But again, you know, people are sensitive, and it's just a lot of people don't want to do that self-healing between both genders, and they're just kind of like, you know, just hurt.
No, Prince, they stuck in the matrix, and that's what I'm trying to say. These people is stuck in the matrix. Okay, it does not have nothing to do with hating genders. The black manosphere ruined red pill.
You can't say that that's not what it's about when that's what it's become.
And that's
No,
what
the black men, the black men ruined the space.
About. You could say that that's not what it originally was about, but that's what it has become.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of hurt black men that have, you know, issues with their mother and or they woman they have dealt with in their life. So they come into this space to basically promote that with red pill, but that don't have nothing to do with being red pill. I think they cross it up. This is why I don't watch a lot of those guys, because they crossed up what it's about. It's about escaping the matrix.
You can't defend it so much in a sense to the degree that you're trying to defend it when you know that that's not what is there and that's not what they're doing.
Yeah. Right. And then
can I just ask something?
Go ahead, Boyle.
I just wanted to just one thing. You keep saying like mother issues. What exactly are these mother issues? What about the absent father issues?
That's my point.
First of all, women have love for their fathers more than men have love for their mothers.
Says
that's
who?
just
Says
history.
who?
That's just history.
That's
just
not true.
history.
Based
That's
on what
history.
facts? Based on what
Men,
references?
a lot of men love their mothers just like women love their fathers. You got a lot of women that have hang-ups with their fathers
There
that
is
come on
no
these platforms.
scientific proof of
Okay,
how much of
it
a son or
is, it
daughter
is,
loves their
it
parent.
was a
That's
prince. It was
ridiculous. So you
listen.
need to
It was a
let that
prince.
go.
If you go back in Egypt,
It's
it was a
very
prince that
subjective. You
married his
need to let
mother.
that go.
That was in love with his mother.
What you
So it's
Yeah,
a
but
lot
that
of
was in Egypt. We're
okay.
talking about the 20th
Okay,
century.
it's still there. You know, a lot of psychologists will tell you that men have an affection for their mother, just like
That's
women
true.
have an
That's
affection
fine.
for their
And
But the
fathers.
thing
that is
about it
So
is
what is
fine.
that we
what
don't
is the
have an
thing?
affection with our fathers that way. We don't.
I don't think
Why
that's
don't?
no, that's
That is
wrong.
not a
A lot of
fact.
women
All
do.
right,
I just want to take my point. I
All
just
right,
want to take my point.
all right, go
You guys are going on about black women and the fact that their sons have issues with them. That is a huge problem because a lot of the times what the issue is, these guys have daddy issues. A lot of them don't have fathers in their lives, and that is a huge problem. There is scientific facts that show two-parent households do benefit the child more so than single-parent households. So you
Amen.
need to stop blaming the women who are actually there for their children, holding the family down, and instead talk to the fathers who are not even there.
Well,
It's
so can you
ridiculous.
tell
It's
a black woman
absolutely
the same thing that
ridiculous.
come on? Can you tell a
Ma'am,
black woman that
but
come on a platform
that
that say the
same
same thing?
It's absolutely ridiculous that you're
So
blaming the
what about
person
the
that
black
actually
woman?
stayed
That
and
But
was
was
what about the
there.
there.
black woman that? What
Well,
about
I
the
think
black
that,
women that have
well,
hang-ups with their father?
in his defense, I think that he's not talking about the majority of black women. I feel like the ones who have these mommy issues are ones whose mothers kind of failed them, like the anomaly.
Nick,
But
it's
I
bigger
don't
than
think
that. That's not
they
true. A
don't.
lot of them go after single mothers. A lot of them go after the whole baby mama thing. And
Yep.
oh, we're blaming black women because they don't know how to take care of their children. Where are the
A
fathers?
lot of these men was raised by single mothers. If you listen to their channels, they
Correct.
all was
Yes.
raised by
So
Correct.
single mothers. So
Correct.
they
can
have
I chime in?
so they have hang-ups with their mothers.
So, but that's
And
not the father's. But that's the thing. That's the point that we're trying to come here, because I'm from a single parent household, right? So even though my father was not there for my brother and my brother has, he inherently, listening to to a lot of red pill people, he took the blame of our father not being in our lives. He took that out on my mother subconsciously, as if it was her issue and it was her fault that our father wasn't there. Now, grant you, he doesn't know, and he probably will have that conversation with my father when it's time. But the reason why my father left was because my father was a deadbeat, and my father wanted to do what he wanted to do. It had nothing to do with my mother. Matter of fact, he's been dating women who's looked like my mother ever since. He's trying to recreate her. But what I'm saying is that that conversation is not being had in the red pill community, is that you got to deal with your mother issues. And that's the reason why you guys are hating women, or a lot of them are hating women, because they have a disdain for their mother. And their mother was the one who was there. The mother was the one who wiped your eyes when you were crying. She was there for you. She paid for you. Your father wasn't there, but he doesn't get that guilt. When it comes to girls, we don't blame our fathers. We still love girls. Black women who are single parent households still love black men.
Oh,
We
I
don't
was raised
blame
by a
black men.
single.
We don't
I
sit there
was
and
raised by a single mother. Okay, I was raised by a single mother. Two single women. My grandmother and my mother. So at the end of the day, I don't hate black women, and I don't hate my mother, and I don't hate none of the black women in my
applause to
family.
you.
Okay, and my father was in my life, but my father was in and out of my life. But still, I don't hate no woman that been in my life that's in my family. I love and respect the woman that comes first in my family. So at the end of the day, I'm nothing like those guys that's on YouTube that hate women. They
So
got
you're
hang-ups
not
because their
but
mother
you're
ain't
not
shit.
representing the current red pill. That's the problem. Your mindset is based off the old red pill standards, but that's not what's going on right now. It's morphed. It's not what it is. Just like BLM was originally for one thing and now it's morphed into something else. That's what I don't think you're grasping. The red pill community has
got
morphed.
hijacked. The space got hijacked by dudes that were brokenhearted by women in the community, and that's what happened.
That's
A
what
lot
I
of those
said.
guys are brokenhearted guys. Okay,
Yes,
I do
and they're
agree
the
with
ones
you.
who are most amplified in this space. That's what I said from the very beginning. It's men who are hurt, who are amplified in this space. We're not, and I'm not even gonna say that Kevin Samuels a red pill, because I don't know if he is or not. But Kevin Samuels sounds like someone who was hurt, and that's the reason why he's saying the things that he says. So that's the whole point. It's just where's the other
Kevin Samuels himself has two baby mothers, and he's running away from paying child support. He's not
Can
a
I
good
say this about
candidate to
Kevin
be speaking on
Samuels?
these issues.
Can I say this about Kevin Samuels? Kevin Samuels' channel was about suits, cologne, and clothes.
But you keep
But
going back to what it was. And we're speaking on what it is today. There's an
no,
issue.
I get you. I get you, Nick. But
Can we talk about? Can we for a second?
Going on with the community today. But I'm gonna pause everybody. Wait a minute, Bullets Gotti. I don't want you to get get attacked here. We have other red pill defenders who have entered the chat. So let's hear from Bearded King, who wants to defend the red pill community. And then after that, we'll hear from Jay Haynes. Go ahead, Bearded King. Bearded King? Okay. Go ahead, Jay.
Yo, what up? What up, Nick? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm not here to defend anybody. I mean, I don't really believe in that, but
No.
I
I
do.
was specifically talking about Bearded King. He wrote in the chat that he wanted to defend the red pill. So I was
No,
following.
I got it. It's cool. I mean, they probably gonna say that anyway, but I do kind of, listen and I subscribe to a lot of the red pill, I guess you would say, like thought process, just from the standpoint that it's like, it's realistic at the end of the day. I mean, as much as everybody has their reasoning for why it's like this and why it's like that and who should be blamed, I think the main point of what red pill thinking originally started as is just absorbing the knowledge, right? And getting the content for what it is. Now it has been hijacked and it's taken like all these different ways. And part of that is because people are triggered by it, right? And they're not triggered by it for no reason. They're triggered by it because it's real. You know what I mean? It's real to their lives. Like, just like I heard a woman say, like, oh, well, it's the voices that are hurt men that get amplified, right? But then do you ever ask why that is? You know what I mean? Maybe because there's a lot of people being hurt on both ends, So the more we kind of just point fingers and go back and forth on like who started this and who started what versus being honest about the conversation, that's essentially the problem. And I think a lot of the red pill thought kind of feeds into at least talking about these things, right? Like at least these things be conversations.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about being honest about conversations, we also have to be honest about how we came as a society and how white supremacy and European standards of beauty have affected that. I started off this stream with O'Shea's ignorant post and the ignorance that I've seen within the post about cultural hairstyles and Black women being deemed as hypocritical for saying somebody is echoing, somebody mute your mic. I don't know. I think it's T. T, you have an echo. And how it's deemed that Black women are hypocritical for telling white women that they are appropriating our culture and our hairstyles, and to dismiss the fact that we have gotten here because of European standards of beauty. I feel like that's the honest conversation. So to say that a Black woman is hypocritical in trying to call out a difference between cultural compliance and cultural appropriation, that's the problem for me.
Oh, Nick, can I ask you, Nick, what is wrong? And I'm gonna keep it real. Like Malcolm X said it best. What's wrong with a Black woman wearing her natural hair? What's wrong with a Black woman embracing her natural beauty and not trying to be like the white woman? You know what I'm saying? Black men ain't trying to be like the white man. We ain't out here trying to get processed hair or trying to get straight hair like the white man. Why black woman is not trying to have their natural beauty where they break?
I can answer that. Talking about you guys, what are you talking about?
Wait. Nobody ever said that there was anything wrong with Black women wearing our natural hairs. What I stated in the beginning of this video was Black women have been conditioned that our natural hair is unkempt, unprofessional, and undesirable. There has been people fired from their jobs. There has been people expelled from school. There has been a conditioning of Black people forever to be closer to European standards of beauty. To be a Black man and not understand that, that's concerning to me, and that's problematic. If you go to a professional setting, there are several jobs who deem natural hairs to be unkempt and unprofessional.
Well, I mean, I get that, but that's because we live in a society that don't want Black people to embrace their natural state. But at the end of the
I
day,
got
supremacy.
question about
But
about
no, can I say something towards that though? Because realistically, from what you're saying, and this is where we have to kind of draw a line. If you're talking about like the red pill community and red pill people, they agree with everything that you just said. I mean, that's part of it.
Right.
Your hair, all those different things, natural. That's the way to go with that. I think obviously that meme is a joke, right? First off, and I want to let y'all click, but it's a joke, and I think the joke is more so about the irony of the criticism versus the hair one way or the other, right? Like, so
no, actually, when you listen to the red pill community, the natural hair that they big up is mixed race hair. When we get into conversations, they say that they want black women to have natural hair, but the black women that you see them go after are the mixed race, biracial.
you gotta be talking about specific people because I can't put something like that on the whole.
yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that because every black man ain't looking for a mixed woman.
I like women with natural hair. My wife has dreads. My children have dreads, so I don't have any problem with natural hair at all. I think that the part that I kind of resonate with that topic is women wearing, you know, all type of blonde weaves and crazy European style hair, which it is something that comes from white supremacy. But the conversation is the same that we would have when women talk about black men being broke and dusty and all that. Like, there's not a lot of sympathy
How
about
does it correlate to a black man being broke
because
and not
if we're going to take our
woman
problems back to
who's
white
trying to uphold
if we're taking problems back to
speaking.
supremacy, you can do that with every problem in the black community. That's everything. So it doesn't just apply to one thing and next. So if we're talking about now, then we're talking about now. A lot of the women that you see with crazy weaves and crazy hair, it's not about where they work. It's not about any of that. That's just how
So
they
you
want to
guys are
express.
worried about women's hair instead of worrying about the real issues at hand.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't want to see
I'm
little
saying
girls.
It's a joke. It's a joke. And if we're gonna take it beyond a joke, then we have to be real about where we taking it.
Hey,
Right?
Jay Haynes, I want to say
You're
something
gonna be
because I
real
agree with that.
about where we're taking it. You have to be real about it all. You
Where we
cannot
came.
sit here and say,
Right. So we
well,
can't
when I
pick
see
and choose.
black women with crazy weaves, that. You cannot dismiss
But
the
Nick,
conditioning that has been going on with our people for years. For you
can I ask you a question?
you like a woman with natural hair, that's one thing. Your wife has natural hair, that's great. But to act like you don't see how black men prefer certain women, how the women that you see the black men going after, the women that you see the black men praising, you don't see them often.
I see the people I know in real life, and I can say what I'm saying now applies to real life. I don't know about the internet and IG. Even that,
This is an illusion. The internet is an illusion.
Like if you talking about the red pill,
Real life
talking about the red pill community.
It's black men who I hear in real life have these conversations
Well,
about
I don't think
all
that.
the top male black
women that
leaders.
they
How
go
many of them have
after
women with
knows
natural
something
hair?
else.
Okay,
All the black
Mr.
leaders
Haynes,
Well,
where are
the
you
women
from?
have hair, so like I
Haynes,
can't.
where
A
are you
lot of
from?
black men got
So
women
you
with
saying
natural
these
hair.
women don't have any choice in how they wear their hair, or like how are you trying to apply that?
Haynes, where are you from? Because that's gonna make a big difference in this conversation.
I'm from the USA, love.
No,
I'm
I
from
mean
New
like
York.
what part of the country? Are you in like the Northeast? Are you in?
I'm from New York City. I live in DC right now.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
from New York,
that,
man.
that makes perfect sense. Okay, I worked for the World Bank. The job that I got fired from that she's referring to was at the World Bank in DC. I lived in DC for 5 years. I live in the South. The reason why I asked you that is for this. In DC, I've never felt more beautiful in my own black skin than when I was there. And the reason being is because you see natural hair everywhere. However, that's a microcosm. That is not that's not the full spectrum of the United States as a whole. There's a very small population. In New York City and in DC.
California.
Yeah, in New York City and in DC, those natural hairstyles and stuff, that's just the norm. You see more, I don't call them dreads, you see more locks than anywhere else in the United States of America. But however, when you go out of those bubbles, right? When you go out of those bubbles, if you start going a little further south, if you start going a little further east, if you start going to the Midwest, it's totally different. Me having 4C hair, if I was to wear my afro out, I would be called nappy. I would be told that I got a bush on top of my head. I would be called every single name or made fun of in every single way in the book just by wearing my hair in a certain way. However, my mother, who is a 3A, light-skinned person, she wears her natural curls all the time, and she gets compliments from the same people that would tell me that my hair is nappy and dry and I need to do something about it. Now, we're going to talk about the hair movement and when it comes to black and women's hair. women, the reason why we have gotten to this point, like Neek said at the very beginning, is because of systematic things. It's basically the differences between cultural appropriation and cultural assimilation. Assimilation is when one person has to change the way that they look or act or speak to be able to assimilate into the wide end culture, which is the white culture. So assimilation means this: I have to straighten my hair. And if I wasn't doing, that's where the hot comb got invented. After the hot combing got invented, we were doing conches, and that was a conch. And men and women were doing that. And then after that, then it goes to a point of, then perms gets invented, and then weave gets invented. So you don't have to do that. The reason why these things are out, and the reason why people are doing it now, is because of what's happened back then when it comes to assimilating into European society. So when it comes to Black men, you guys, I don't even think that you realize it.
Why are you preaching this to them? They already know a lot of these things.
Well, actually, no, they may not. Because
why?
No, I mean, I know
let me
everything
finish
that
my
you're
point.
saying. I'm trying to be
Why
respectful
is
and let it
Black
cook.
woman's
But
hair
like,
Can I
you
say
bring
the
up
something?
point
Can I
of
say
these
something?
issues?
it's a separate
Why
issue.
is
You're
But
Black
talking
can I say
about
woman's
something?
hair
All right,
the
wait,
focal
one
point
at a
of
time,
these
one at a
issues?
Can I
time.
finish?
Wait. Everybody, wait.
Because I was agreeing with the sister.
Let me finish,
Yeah,
and then
but
let me finish. Let me.
Neek,
Because
this is
Right.
getting out of
All
hand.
right.
We're
All
talking
right,
about
Oracle,
issues here.
Oracle, wait. Let her finish, and then I'll let you have the floor. Go ahead, finish.
And then you can have it, dear. You can have it, dear. I understand that we shouldn't be explaining this to them. However, there's going to be people who are going to be watching this playback who may not know. And the reason why what I'm about to say next is actually pertaining to Black men, because a lot of Black men don't know their own history. They're worried about ours. So when it comes to Black men, I'm not sure if you realize that. Excuse me, let me finish. I'm not sure if you realize, but up until the 1950s and 60s, Black men couldn't wear beards in the workplace because it was considered the same way that we were wearing our afros. It was considered unprofessional for a Black man to wear a beard, but a white man could wear a beard.
right, and
The
now we
reason why
do.
Black men are cutting their hair every 2 weeks or every week, the reason why you sitting in that barber chair is because your afro was also deemed not acceptable in the 70s. So you
Right,
guys
right.
have
But
dealt
now
with
we
the same
got
things
dreads, we
too, and
got
that's
beards
the
more
reason
than
why
ever.
you're
That's
doing the
fine.
same beauty
That
regimens.
fight
You're
has been
assimilating
fought
too.
though. We fought that fight and we're here now. We have the
No,
right
you're,
to wear our hair
and
more
we're
than
trying
ever.
to, and think about it, but we're trying to fight that fight. But instead of you
But it's
fighting that
been
fight
fight.
with
It's already
us, you're
fought for
fighting it
you. It's
against
already
us.
fought. You say you lived in DC. You lived in New York. You
Yeah.
know it exists. In the most corporate places in America, they do that. So if in your little city or in your little town, that's a problem. That's something that you should fight for. You shouldn't be beefing with Black men about how they
I'm
feel
not
about
beefing with
things.
Black men. Actually,
Saying
sir,
culturally, it sounds like
Like
no,
they
it's
don't
not.
understand
I'm not beefing.
if Black men are sitting here acting like they don't understand where we have came and where we are now, then yes, absolutely right.
Hey,
Tell us every single time. And like she
hey,
said,
Nick.
wait a minute. And like she said, that is your thing. When you come to California, when you come to other places, California is very colorist. The workplace is very, 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 very much so closer to a European standard of beauty. You will not get hired coming to the interview with some of these natural hairs. So there are people who have fought for it. There are cases, and I read that already. There are several people who have taken this to the Supreme Court, to different U.S. courts, and this thing has been fought tooth and nail. There has been schools who have been sued for this. There has been dress codes that target Black people, and they have been sued for this. And people have been fighting. But for you guys to act like you don't understand,
But you act like Black men aren't
But
part
I
of
don't
that.
want
You
to
just
see no
brought up
little girls. I'm gonna be
young
honest.
Black men getting their hair cut
I
at
don't want to
school.
see
How
no
are we
little
not
girls
part
with
of
no
that?
weave.
Can I interject for a
We
moment,
fighting
please?
that same fight.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
I just want to speak on the fact that guys may not be aware. Some of you may, but Neek is absolutely right. Now the women that are speaking on the panel, it's so bad when it comes to natural hair and Black women. She's talking about assimilation. It's getting so bad. It's gotten so bad, especially in the workplace. I think I heard the sister say she lost a job because of her natural hairstyle or something like that. That Senator Cory Booker actually presented a bill to Congress to make it illegal to discriminate against Black people based upon their hairstyle. That's how bad it's gotten in the workplace. And when she's talking about assimilation, she's absolutely right about that. They fear, they take it as a sign of aggression when you come out and you want to be your natural self. And like I said, there's a bill presented in Congress, and it was passed because Black people have gotten fired because of their hairstyle. So that has been addressed. It had to go all the way to Congress. And the second thing I wanted to say, the reason why I clicked onto the panel is because you guys may not be aware, but I'm from the sector where I heard Nick mention a post from O'Shea Duke Jackson, and they're talking about Kevin Samuels. All of this is a manosphere mindset, and they have built platforms, successful platforms, on talking degrading and debasing Black women. That's why all of this is going on. As far as Kevin Samuels, he's a gay man that has a manosphere mindset, and the reason why he's so popular right now is because of that manosphere mindset. Because him and O'Shea Duke Jackson and BGS Ilmore and everybody else over there, the only thing that they're doing is trying to make these bands feel better about themselves because they are non-select men. Anytime you get a man sitting up on panel and you go panel after panel, year after year, worried about a Black woman's hairstyle, worried about her nails, worried about her weight, when you can be going out and you're supposed to be the head of the family and you're supposed to be a king, and you're worried about a Black woman's hairstyle, you need to rethink your situation in life. That's
I
what's
agree
going on.
100%.
I
Stop worrying
want
about
you
the
guys
women's
to
hair.
read.
Worry about your household. And
My mother never wore no
Stop
weave.
worrying about women's hair.
See, what
Worry
the
about
deal is,
your
it's
own
not
hair.
about the
why
In your
does it
household.
automatically
It's not
become
about
that
the
you
weave.
worried
Stop worrying
about
about
these
women's
things
hair.
and you speak
Stop
on
worrying
it?
about women's
not
hair.
about
You
the.
can't
want
even
our
come up
Black
with a
women to
meme
It's
do
that's
not
a
better.
about the
joke
weave.
and
It's
you worried
listen,
about it?
guys. It's not about the weave. It's
It's
about the
not. It's
control.
not. So
See,
why
the
are we
problem
talking
with Black
about it?
men is they
Why are we
act like
talking?
they don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you. Okay, so if they feel like you make them feel uncomfortable when you wear a weave or you wear your hair in braids or you get a
being
breast
with the
implant
white
or you
man.
do whatever, you're too, you're selling yourself too much, and they fear that somebody else might want you, because for as long as they can beat you down and hold you down, then that means a lot of them feel secure about themselves. It is not the Black woman's fault. It is a historical issue from the time of slavery. They divided the Black man from the Black woman on purpose. They elevated the Black woman over you, Black man, so that you can feel secure and be combative against her. That is what's going on. That is the
How much
mentality.
y'all
So when
inferring
you
Black
get these
men just in
men
this
worried about your
conversation?
weave
Black
and worried
men say
about
something
your
about
weight
they don't
and
like
worried about
blonde
the color
women.
of your skin or the
It's a
texture of your
problem.
hair, that is what's going on. And
It's
that
a
is what I want to
problem.
say,
You can't just keep
because
attacking
you
Black
have
men
to
like
take
this,
it
saying what they
deeper
like, what
than
they
the
don't.
material.
The Black man in this country is underappreciated in this country. Okay, we are
That is
not
the Black man's
appreciated.
fault. That is not
We
up for the Black woman to uplift you. You
attack
have to
Why are
the
uplift
Black
yourself.
women. The
Young
Black
women
women
like
get a
Nick
lot
at
of
Night
Black
and a
women.
lot of these young women
Black
on the
women get a
panel
lot.
have gotten tired of you
Get a
bitch ass
lot.
niggas.
No,
And
no,
they
no,
got to
no.
put you
Black
out their
women
life.
get a lot
They
of
tired of
privileges.
dealing
It's
with
all
y'all
about
weak
pointing
niggas. So
fingers, right?
Okay,
You
y'all
could
get a
do a
lot of.
whole
Listen,
rant.
like,
You did a whole rant. As soon as that Black man said Black men underappreciated, it was a
Wait,
we
problem.
can't do that.
no cursing like that. Calm down.
No, speak for yourself. Now that's the part of Oracle that I'm not going to agree with. Now I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm on this panel, so I'm not going to sit there and say I'm tired of these BANs, because I'm not. I love you guys, but the thing about it is that the conversations that we're having are so divisive, and it's just like everybody. It seems as if now these two brothers that are on here, Mr. Haynes and Mr. Bullets, you guys have made a lot of amazing points when it came to that community, and I commend you guys for that, because I didn't think about some of these things,
But
and
they
you guys
have
did
not.
give good perspective. I will
No.
say that. However,
I
there
still
are
don't
some
know what
things.
their red pill stance is. I'm still trying to figure out what their
Exactly.
stance
They
is.
have not
They
made
should
good
be
that
speaking on
no
that.
this
Can I say
no.
something?
All
If
I've
Black
taken
people
is the
stop,
red pill stance is about Black women's hair. Let's get real. What is
no,
it about?
I
Exactly.
think,
Like
I
if
think
that's
Black.
what
It's
you
so
think,
much
then you
more
kind of
than that.
ignorant, man. I ain't gonna front. If that's what you think, then
I
that's
think the
really
problem.
I'm
I think the
ignorant, but
problem
you've been
is.
spending the last 10,
But that's
20 minutes
ignorant
on
to
Black
say.
You
women's
see what
hair
I'm
and
saying? This
weave.
is the
I
Willie
said it
Lynch.
wasn't
This is the
about
Let's
Willie
hair
hear
a
what
long
Lynch
it's
time
about.
ago
syndrome
Let's
when
that
hear
we
what
Why
the
have.
don't
everybody
y'all
Black
reality
men
go
is.
said
in
that a
on
long
the
time ago.
surface?
You missed all that because you heard something you didn't
All right, chill. Everybody, one at a time. One at a time.
Can I say
Excuse me.
something, Nick?
Oh,
Can I say something?
Oh, everybody, shut the F up. Okay? Quiet. All right. I want to hear from Mimi. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey y'all. Nick, I love your platform, but we do not agree on the whole Kevin Samuels thing. But I love you because you always talk about good topics and things like that. But when it comes to the weave, I used to wear weave, and I didn't have a problem with it. I still don't have a problem with it, but I do get where both sides is coming from. I used to be a hair fanatic. And then I started getting into history. And once you learn your history, there's a lot of things that you will not let fly. But when it comes to the hair thing, I don't have that issue in South Carolina. And I have locks. And I had an afro before I had locks. But I don't have the issue of being fired and things like that with being my natural self. I embrace my hair because our hair is the only hair that defies gravity. And they actually love our hair.
Before you stopped wearing it, why did you wear straightened hair?
Say it one more time.
Before you stopped wearing weaves, why did you wear it?
Oh, I just wore it because I had like the different looks. I do hair. I like hair. I'm obsessed with hair. Even though I got locks, I still watch wig videos and things like that just to stay in the loop of everybody and what's trends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But our hair is actually beautiful in the fact that a lot of women don't deem their hair as beautiful. I know some of the women on here do, but a lot of Black women do not deem their hair as beautiful. But this is where the history part of coming at. They stripped that love for ourselves back then. They stripped that. And I believe a lot in DNA trauma, and things do carry on in the physical as of now that we do. But a lot of people don't know their true histories. It goes beyond what you learned in school. You only learned that you was a slave. Like, we was kings and queens out here. Our men put us on a pedestal. We was in the books. We was in our history books. White women wasn't in their books. That's why they had a whole problem with their men. So you got to know a certain amount of history in order to appreciate how you truly look. And like, even when I'm looking at you, Neek, you're a beautiful woman. But I be looking like, I want to know what her natural hair look like. She'll be bomb with a fro. She'll be like stuff like that.
Well, you can see that on videos and on my Instagram.
Oh yeah, Instagram.
Can I just say, when you talk about the history, Neek, can I just say, when she's talking about history, especially in the South, did you guys know that? And I heard you talk about how the curly hair. What do you call those? For the the curly hair women. I hate to say this, but they like that certain look in the
three. Just say three hair. It's type 3.
Okay, hair. that type of hair that they go for now, that look that they like now, that even type of hair was suppressed at one point in time, especially in places like Louisiana, where there were a lot of mixed race, or they called it back then mulatto women. They made them wrap their hair up. That's why head wraps are so popular right today. They were intimidated even by that type of hair. And so when I'm telling you that you're being suppressed, whether you're mulatto or whether you got a 4A or 4B or whatever you call it kind of hair, there's a history behind that. And the issue is that nobody wants to go below the surface, because, like I said, that kind of hair was seen as an act of aggression also. Any type of melanin that you have in your skin, your hair, your nails, whatever, is going to be seen as a sign of aggression. So really, instead of the men worrying about what the women put on their hair and how they wear their hair, they need to deal with the issue of oppression. That's the greater issue there. And when it comes down to, I think it's disgusting how the manosphere and those types of channels, those red pillars or incels, whatever you want to call them, instead of addressing your own issues, you want to try to suppress the woman. You want to try to beat her down if she wears some weave in her hair, or she got a big butt or whatever. And the whole time you got the Anglos over here trying to be just like
wanted
this
to
black
say
woman.
something.
Can I please? I haven't.
So being like a white woman is cute.
Wait. All right, let I'ma speak.
Okay, I'm glad that you brought that back full circle. The whole point, and it all comes back to Black male leadership. When a man is in leadership, the women follow, whether that's the way we look, the way we carry ourselves, all of that. So once Black males have established that, and back then, a lot the young man brought about the fact that his mother didn't wear. Back then, Black men were leading. Now, was it torn down and destroyed by white men? Because yes, they did. But that was the whole point. They were still, there was some type of leadership and some type of structure that Black men had set up, and women followed. So the reason why they're wearing weaves and we have to conform to the white women's standard of beauty is because the white man is leading. He is the leader of our society. So of course we're going to conform to his leadership, i.e., you cannot wear kinky hair, you cannot wear braids, you can't do these things. If Black men had established or have or will establish that, then Black women can then feel freely to be under the leadership of them, which is wear your natural hair, wear, you know, everything that makes you uniquely African American, African features, all of that, you're proudly using. You're not contouring your nose. You're not wearing blonde weaves and weave down your back. So it goes all the way back to Black male leadership. It just is what it is.
Love,
That's
but
any
if you're proud of
civilization. Wait a
something, you're
minute.
proud.
Any
You're not
civilization.
waiting for
Look at
somebody else to
history.
tell you that.
Men lead societies. And if you
know what
can't
the problem
lead,
is?
this is the result of not
But if
leading.
you were proud
Period.
of your hair, like you said, then you would wear it. You
We
wouldn't be
talking
saying
about
what you're saying.
leadership.
That's a dangerous mentality. You waiting for somebody else to
It's
whatever,
we're
I guess.
women.
excuse.
Exactly. That's the problem. And even when the other
You don't
women
have to be
said
a
to
man or a
you,
woman to wear your hair a certain way.
you put it
That's a
right back to
fact.
us. This is
You
why
make it wild
Black women
dramatic
lead
for
our
a reason.
community, because you
All right, let me just say
you
this.
put
Let me
a
say
tennis
this.
ball,
You
you
can talk,
hit it
but
right back to us.
just like
This
That's
that
why
Willie
we
Lynch
lead
shit I be
and
talking
other
about.
men lead their society, but in a Black society we lead. Because
all right,
Black
so
men
just
always
like
want to give us
I want
pass
to
us
hear
the
the
ball
Black
just
back.
like
men
the young
speak.
We
lady
I
was
want to hear
we
the
saying.
can't
men
pass
speak
the ball
about
no
Hey
more.
Nick,
Leo.
hey
It's in
Nick, can
y'all
you get
court.
control?
It's in
Can you
your
get
court.
control, Nick? Because my goodness, like what I've been hearing, I've been in and out, my fucking internet not working in the area I'm at. But what I keep hearing is bickering back and forth, back and forth. It is no solution at all. Like we gotta stop it. This is what's wrong with that manosphere community and the pink pill community. We always blaming each other, and we don't never take accountability for what we can control. But we got to stop
What I
that though.
addressed
But
was
yeah,
the
continue on.
fact that people need to educate themselves, and that's what I started and I led with. I was not blaming anybody in the red pill community.
I'm not talking about you, Nick. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about
Okay,
the
well,
guests that are on the show right
women
now.
are also educating the men who seem to not understand.
Right. But
Well, can I just
okay,
say
but
to
the
that?
get what I hear right now, is a lot of bickering and blaming each other, and there's no accountability for what we can control, for what the
But
man can
however,
control, or what the woman
Don, we
can
can't
control.
control anything. That's a problem. The problem
I
with the
think
hair
Black women is
situation
more in control right now in this day and age than Black men are.
actually, but that's
No,
that,
no,
okay. But here's the
no.
thing:
That's the problem.
Oh no, that's false. That's a
okay,
lie.
wait.
So-
He
so-
responded to me, so let me finish that. So what you said that you're okay. So you're basically saying that it's something that we need to control, right? But what we're voicing and what Neek has voiced is that this is something that is out of our control. This is something above our pay. This is something above your pay grade. This is something that's above all of our pay grades. This is going on a government and a systematic level. So you may
understand
say,
that.
yes, Black women, pardon, you may say that Black women have more power than Black men nowadays. However, there's more Black men in Congress. There's more Black men in higher positions than Black women. We literally just got a woman Black. She's not even Black, but we just got a woman vice president. However, we've had a Black man president. So when it comes to Black men, you guys actually
He was elected before he was
hold higher
elected.
positions, and you guys can make that change. However, I think that what it really boils down to is that what do you guys really deem as attractive? Let's talk about that. Because
Okay, well,
you want
well,
us to
wait,
wear
I
natural
piggyback off
hair.
this. I deem Black
So
women
stick,
attractive.
stick to the leadership part.
Can I
The
just
question
piggyback
is
off the point
not
you
what
just
they
made?
find attractive. The
Or
question
small
is, why do
conversations
they refuse to
that
lead?
don't match.
Oracle, chill. I
Why
got
do they
this.
refuse
Yo,
to
What does
lead?
that
It's
have
not
to do
being
with
can we
attractive.
leadership?
relax?
It's
Let's
why
Yo,
stop worrying about what they think about you.
Chill.
My
Just
Can I
chill.
just
Y'all
piggyback off the
not
point
on
you
the
just
right
made?
path with your mind.
Chill. What I'm just saying is that you guys want us to wear our natural hair. Mr. Haynes, now we already know that you were in Chocolate City, so you out of this, dear. And I'm saying that is a good thing. You are literally immersed in Black excellence. So you're on a whole nother spectrum. Your views are going to be different than somebody else's views are going to be. But the thing about it is that if we wear our natural hair, right? And we rocking these afros, we rocking these twist outs. Are y'all really gonna keep checking for us? Because real talk, and I know that Nick, you may be able to co-sign with this. When I wear my twist out and I wear my fro and my natural hair is in the middle of my back. When I wear my natural hair and it's kinky texture, I ain't getting them twists and turns as I do when I'm wearing my straight hair. I ain't getting them hollers.
Man, look here.
And that's true
Yeah, I
too.
don't know what that's
And
about.
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
I don't know what that's about, but I like
Because
women
as you
with their
can see, I'm
natural
not
hair.
an ugly woman, as you can see. So what I'm saying is that there is a problem with that. So if you want us to do that, sure, we can do that. But are y'all gonna check for us?
Are we still talking about hair, man?
Hello?
Right. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, third.
Hello?
I don't like how we separating
Hello?
black hair and black women
Yeah.
hair and black men hair.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so since I've been listening, it's been a whole bunch of mumble mouth, garbage, goofy stuff this whole time when it comes to the male's thought process. Because the same men who would beat it into our heads about them white men got their foot on their necks, the system is after them, the prison school, the prison
system is
pipeline,
after
all
the
of that
black
BS.
man.
They always
The
after
system
y'all. The
is
same
after the
people who
black
say the
man.
same people. Let me finish. The same people who can see clearly that the white man is after them seem to be Stevie Wonder when it comes to the similar struggles that we have. It seems like the majority of black males are selfish and they only care about things that bothers them, and they want us to be pit bulls in the street fighting. They fight getting killed over stupid stuff that they care about, but
Can
they
I
seem
go
to
after
be
her?
Stevie Wonder. You can go after me, so after me when I'm finished. I've been in debates, I've been in the military, I've been in circles with all different type of races that have debates about numerous things, literally of all different races. You will get a black man in a group and the one thing he want to talk about is weave and makeup. Other people are thinking about things to help their communities, families taking over, generational wealth. You will let a black man sit there and talk, the first thing to come out of his mouth, I can't stand black women wearing weave. Boy, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Like, can you tell me about a 401k? Can you tell me about how you living in your baby mama house and nothing's in your name? Can you tell me about how you're a felon? But you want to talk to us about hair, weave, and makeup. Why do y'all only care about hair, weave, and makeup? Do you care about mental health? Can you wait till I'm finished? Can you wait till I'm finished? Can y'all wait till I'm finished? Can you jump in when I'm finished? I'll say period when I'm done. I will say period when I am finished. I will end this rant with a period. I will end this rant with a period. This old trash bag, goofy stuff that y'all get up here. So y'all, I swear y'all Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder when it comes to us. But when y'all dealing with child support, when y'all dealing with all type of core issues and y'all need people to put money on y'all books, y'all all open for that goofy stuff. But y'all want to talk to us about bonnets and hair weave. If y'all don't sit y'all goofy selves down, period.
Look how much
Can
you
I
just
say this?
talked about in that little rant.
Wait,
Look how much you just talked about in that rant, though. And the weave is a problem?
Wait. All right, go, Bianca.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't even know where to start. So I feel like the first issue that we're having is the number one thing that I feel like we're not focusing on is just the divisiveness. Like, I'm hearing all these books being called out, the everything. We know that the game is to divide and conquer. And basically what I can see from what everybody's saying is clearly
Exactly what I was saying.
We are divided and we are conquered. Like the fact that we're focusing so much on hair.
Exactly what I was saying.
Twisted. I'm not saying that hair is not the focus. Hair is a part of a very small part of this big, huge problem that we have. So clearly it's an issue with, us wanting to wear our natural hair and, black men don't think that we don't want to wear our natural hair neither. But it's like especially for the black men, don't overlook the fact that we are being suppressed and oppressed just as much as you have and still are being. Like at the end of the day, they know our power. They know our strength. We don't know our power. We don't know our strength. And the power and the strength lies in our unity. The fact that we can't even sit up here and get over something as simple as hair shows that we're going to continue to be suppressed and oppressed. Like if we want to talk about the leadership, somebody was talking about that as far as leadership. Okay. 1 minute, we shouldn't look for a leader, but then the next minute, we don't want to follow the lead of a black man. Like which you have to pick a side. And at the end of the day, the side that we need to choose is each other. Man, not trying to knock y'all. Listen, I have 4 brothers that I love to death. I was raised with my grandfather in my life. I have more male in my family than I have women. I love y'all. We need you. I need you. I need my black men out
She need you.
to stand
The
up
rest
for
of us
me,
is straight.
to protect me, to look out for me and everything.
Speak
And
for
as long as
yourself,
you do that
dear.
for me, I'm going to do the same thing for you. We can't keep fighting against each other. Don't worry about my hair. You want me to wear my natural hair? Put me in a position where I can wear my natural hair, where I'm not going to work for a white
And
man.
that's the problem.
Come through, Bianca. Come
That's
through.
the problem.
Can I jump in real quick?
I'm not finished talking.
Wait a minute.
I'm not finished talking.
Somebody said somebody who is wait, what she said?
Oh, he's a PhD student in Black Studies. So I was trying to, if he calls
All right,
he's saying
I'm gonna click the link right now and we can close out with him.
Nick, can I say something? Because I'm listening to what the women is saying on here, and some of it just come out of just a bunch of like this Willie Lynch syndrome that I always be talking about. This is why people need to read that letter in our community, because that's what we're suffering from.
The letter doesn't matter at this point. We right here.
No,
right
hold on, sis.
Let him finish.
What I'm seeing from black women, hold on, sis. What I'm seeing from black women, and I mean technically black American women, is a lot of disdain for black men. It's a lot of disdain because a lot of these women come from broken homes. And they dealt
Due to the black man.
Why are they broken? Why are they broken? Why are they broken? If 1 plus 1 equals 2, and the other one ain't there, there's a negative. So
can you stop yelling?
That makes
please?
no sense.
I'm trying to finish what I was saying. What black women is not saying is that they are getting these big job promotions. Black men are not getting the same job promotions that black women get. They're not getting.
Because why? They're not qualified.
Okay, black men are getting discriminated. They're getting discriminated. They got 3 strikes against them. If they went to prison or something happened minor to them, they are getting stigmatized. Black women could go to jail. Anything can happen to them. They will get a job. They will get a lot of benefits.
That's not true.
They will get celebrated.
That's not true.
Black women, I've seen black women get celebrated for going to prison. What are you talking about? Black men don't get celebrated.
Hip hop is dedicated to celebrating black men for being gangsters, for being terrorists, it's all the same thing. What are you talking about? Celebrating our entire culture celebrated gangsters and hood rats. What are you talking about? Black women being celebrated for going to jail? That makes no sense.
That still goes right back to my
What's that,
point
sir?
of the divisiveness. Like Bullets, for example, you just brought up that point. At the end of the day, you saying that black women come from broken home, like black men don't come from broken home. We all coming from broken homes. It's not a black man, black women thing. It's a black people problem. And we keep trying to point the fingers like, oh, it's the black man. Oh, it's the black woman. No, it's us together. We struggling. We fucked up out here. We at the bottom of the barrel. We need to unite so we can climb on each other's back to come up. That's all it is. It's not a black women got problems, just like black men got problems. They might differ in certain ways, but we struggling, y'all. Like, fuck this hair shit.
Hey, I let one fly. Now you
Bianca, you right on the head on that. I do agree with you on that. But my whole thing with Bullets is that he's, with some of the comments that are coming on, the reason why it comes off is we're blaming them is because they're, a lot of men in these spaces are projecting their, talk about single mother households and all this stuff, but I mean, it takes 2 to tango. So it just seems as in the manosphere, it seems as if it's the woman's fault when the family is broken, but it takes 2 to break something.
Yes,
so he's also as equally as responsible. So that's my whole thing, is that I don't see a lot of people talking about that. There's also the male being gone is a problem, and we've made it normalized in our society that it's okay to be in single parent households, and it really is not.
No, because that damn.
Right.
No, you're right.
And we're forgetting.
All right. So we're gonna wrap it up. Somebody has said somebody wanted to come on that studied Black studies, but I don't see anybody with that name coming on. So I don't know about that.
What up, Nick?
EMI.
What up, Nick?
Go ahead. What's up, you dig? Don't come on here being ignorant. I see your ignorant comments. Go ahead, EMI.
All right. So you call that an ignorant comment?
Let EMI speak real quick.
Yes, I just wanted to address that this is not just a USA thing. It's definitely a worldwide thing. I'm half African American, half Nigerian, and some of the problems happen in both communities. I think it's definitely white supremacy, but I could say that the difference between, I guess, the African communities and the American communities is that like the men don't really want to step up in the American communities. Like it's actually a problem. And that's actually something that like, because my dad is actually like Nigerian. That's something that like he points out all of the time, like that the men don't want to step up. And another thing too, I think division is definitely an issue. Like we have to come together and try to solve this problem, That's all I have to say right now.
I think people keep pushing this unity. We've been trying to unify for how many years? We just have to accept it is what it is. And today's society, this whole unity, kumbaya stuff, that is not going to happen if people are not trying to take responsibility for their part and why our community is messed up.
And that's what I was trying to preach.
You dig? And please don't be ignorant, child. Go ahead. Go ahead, you dig?
So Nick.
Go ahead.
Hey, you say me saying all I'm hearing is excuses is a negative comment. Also, I'm hearing is this young lady so negative talking about we ain't gonna be come together.
You cutting in and out. I don't hear nothing you said. Start from the beginning.
Black man, woman, and child, we have to come together if we're ever gonna succeed.
Calm your mad ass down.
Wait.
Hell, I can't even get his sound right.
Wait.
Y'all gotta relax here. Y'all gotta relax.
Watch, he about to get up here and talk about hair glue.
You relax.
He about to get up here and talk about hair glue. Watch. Nothing will add nothing of value to the situation.
Go ahead. You did. Go ahead.
First of all, if we don't come together, we don't continue to do what we're doing now. I don't see the problem.
UNITY. UNITY.
Who is that?
What's the problem? Like,
yo, kick her out, yo.
As a woman, you have a preference. Like, we all have our preference. Mm-hmm. And me as a man, I don't like how we deal with it sometimes.
I can't even.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you do whatever you want to do, but it's bigger things going on in the black community besides.
Okay.
Well, y'all don't want to talk about hair. Black men the one talking about hair, gossiping about black women about their hair, and not building and not providing, and blaming black mothers for providing. When y'all gonna set up and be man and build like other black men who build their empires and protect their women? Y'all sit in groups and gossip about black women to get paid. You weak motherfuckers.
TW, chill out, dear. Chill out, mama. Chill out. Goddamn, mama.
No, I ain't mad. You mad. Y'all mad. I don't sit in groups to talk about black men. I don't sit around other. What is that? What group of men got time to talk about black women's hair all day? God, see that word wrong with it. See that word wrong. And then y'all talking about y'all got preferences. Well, go with your preferences and shut the fuck up about our hair.
Yo, you triggered, man. You triggered.
You throwing away too many F-bombs now. I'm gonna let you back on, but no cursing. Okay? I done warned you twice. Now 3 strikes, you're gonna be out. Now.
Women like her.
Go ahead. No cursing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Problem. Don't nobody want to talk about the problems without getting upset, being ignorant. Like, we got to come together, man and woman. Why we got to fight each other? Like, I don't understand. Like, what's all this fuck about? And hatred. I said nothing wrong. I'm with the black woman. I have a black woman. Like, I don't understand.
I think Dami God, I think that where the understanding is that I think what a lot of black women subconsciously really want.
I didn't do nothing.
And I'm just speaking for myself. And
Don't take it out on me.
No, that's not me.
I'm not taking that on you, dear.
That's
Just
not
give
dummy
me a
gun.
minute. I'm about to big you up. Just give me a minute. There. What I'm about to say is this, because I haven't said anything disparaging about any of the men on this panel. So let's get that corrected. So I didn't come on here hollering. What I'm saying is that I think that a lot of women, I'm gonna speak mainly for myself because there's some things that some people on this panel, women, have said that I don't agree with. I do not agree that we do not need to unify. I do not agree with that. We do need to unify. But what I do want to say is this. I think a lot of Black women really want from Black men is to instead of publicly shaming us and degrading us and talking about us in a negative light, to do that same thing without simping. I'm not talking about Derek Jackson. Now, to do the same thing in the opposite regard to build up women. Now, when it came to, there was before he got kicked off, he asked me, he said, well, Black women are getting more promotions than Black men. Well, do you know the reason why that is?
That sounds like jealousy to me.
Let me finish.
It is.
Let me finish. Do you know the reason why that is? It's because there's more Black women in colleges. So I went to Texas Southern University. Big ups to the Tigers.
Because we did the work, we went to school and educated ourselves. Being single mothers.
TW, let me do my
Let her
point.
speak, yo. You so aggressive, yo. Yo, chill out.
Let me get it. Chill. Just chill. I got it. Let me get it. I got it. Chill. Okay, so what I'm saying is that when you go to these HBCUs, when you go to these college universities, you see more Black female students than you see Black male students. And I don't know I'm not a Black man. I don't know what the culture is on what you guys are telling your boys when they're younger. But what Black girls are being told, and as a Black woman, I was told from a VP of a bank, who was my mother, I was told that you have to step up because if the father misses out, if you have kids you have to pay or you have something that you have to deal with, you're gonna have to do it on your own. So you need to get your degree. You need to go ahead and do this. You need to do that. You need to apply yourself because you may not be able to depend on a male to do that for you. That's what's being promoted to young girls. And I know I don't think that it's a good thing that it is being promoted to young girls, but it is. But the thing about it is the opposite.
I got a quick question.
Let me finish, demigod. The opposite to that is this. We're promoting to young women, go to school, get your education, be INDP, independent from Webby and all this stuff, single ladies and all that. But Black men, what are they getting promoted? That's the question. They're not getting promoted to go to school and be educators. They're being promoted to be trap stars. They're being promoted to be rappers. They're promoted to be scammers. That's what is being promoted to them. So you don't see these boys. If you go to a high school
and then when they get that money, they're gonna give it up to a white girl, like Kanye said. So why you take?
All
right, TW, TW tripping. Because you're being more hyped than I was.
You're being out of here.
In an area that we don't need
stereotypes. Jeez.
We do not need stereotypes. So I'm sorry, TW, but you're gonna have to. But what I'm saying is that what are we promoting to our Black boys? If we want our Black men to be more successful so our Black men can lead us, because we want to be led, because honestly, I don't want to be paying all these bills. I'll be more than happy to cook and clean for you, boo. And I'll rub your feet at the end of the night, but I can't do that. I have to be an analyst because I don't have that support system. So what are we promoting to our young boys? Let's talk about let's do that. Let's talk to them about going to college and being doctors and being lawyers, not trap stars and rappers. Let's talk to them about being those things so that way they can actually get these promotions so they can lead our community.
That's the other side.
They don't want you, sis.
That's the other side of the race.
They don't want you.
All right, wait. Everybody be quiet. I want to let TW speak real quick. But we ain't gonna do no cussing, TW.
They don't want you, sis. Go rub somebody else's feet. They don't want you.
Black women are in trade school too.
TW, what is it?
I'm saying
they don't want you. They don't want you,
I was trying to drive home a point about the schools.
Okay, go ahead, TW. What you said? TW.
Oh, me. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My name is Tracy. That's why I was like, what? Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, what did you want to say about
my thing? I want to say, okay, I'm not gonna cuss. I'm not gonna curse. I want to say, why is everybody ignoring the fact that the leadership is on the Black man? They want to keep on talking about Black hair, and y'all keep on letting them talk about Black hair and Black women. Wait a minute. Y'all need to talk about being men. You blame. You blame us. You blame. Can I finish? You blame.
Let her finish.
Can I finish?
Let her talk, y'all. Go ahead.
You blame Black women for being single mothers. And then when we overcome that and become stronger because we endured and become the biggest group of entrepreneurs holding the most degrees, then you want to whine. No, y'all get promoted. Y'all. Be men. Grow up. Put your big pants on. Stop gossiping about Black women hair and be men. You are disgusting. Black on Black crime. Black men hate each other. Black men kill each other every day.
Okay,
what are
pause,
y'all doing about
pause,
that?
pause,
Talk about that.
Yo,
Talk about that.
I mean,
Why
what
y'all
are we
talking about Black
talking about?
women hair? Y'all don't even sound like men.
What are
Talking
we
about
talking
Black
about?
women
We
hair.
talking about hair because that was
Why
the topic of the conversation.
is there Black on Black crime?
We talking about hair because that was the
Why
topic
is there
of
Black
the
on Black
They know
crime?
more about blue magic than
Black
most
on
Black
Black
women.
crime.
They know how
Black
to
on
braid
Black
better than
crime.
us.
Well, the topic
Black
is
on Black
men
crime.
Black women's hair
Black
and
on
Black
Black crime.
Right, but that's not
Black
ignorant
on
right there.
who's
What you
shooting
doing?
who?
You talking about
Who's
black on
shooting
black
who?
crime?
Who's
You
shooting
called
who?
into a show
Who's
about hair.
shooting who?
And you mad?
Who's shooting
Are you
who?
mad? 'Cause
Who
you got a
hate
hair full
who?
of blonde hair. Is
Who
that
killing
why?
who? Black on
Is
Black
that why you
crime.
mad?
Be
Right.
men.
They
Be
more
men.
dangerous to
Be
us
men.
than
You don't
cops
make no
is.
sense of what you're saying.
Yo, sis, get her
But
out of here.
like,
Thank you.
it's corny.
Goodness,
Like,
goodness gracious.
Bianca, this is a mess, ain't it, girl?
Yeah.
Gracious, yo, get her out of here.
CW
Yo,
chose
divisive.
violence.
We
Lord
don't
Jesus.
need that, yo.
CW woke up and chose
Like, goodness
violence.
gracious.
well, I would say to the point that that LC made about the what are men being
Oh,
taught.
dang, she coming back.
That's part of what the red pill community is for a lot
Talk
of men,
about
where they
single
are.
parent. We don't talk about we don't like.
Yeah, well, what they are
Excuse me.
talking about how men need to be men and how men need to provide and produce. That is part of that community as well. So like, I think that's part that's missed by a lot of women.
Hey,
But
but we talk. That's why at the beginning I was talking about. That's why at the beginning I was talking about we need to separate the red pill from the manosphere because those are entirely two different things. Entirely two different things.
What's
Manosphere
the
is
conversation
about?
Sorry. How about we get rid of all the categories all together, like the manosphere, feminism, red pill, blue pill. We only put.
I don't agree with.
Even
I don't
put
agree
things
with the
into
manosphere.
categories is because you really truly don't know what it is and you're trying to figure it out. But if you're
Right.
aware, nothing stays the same. You're not the same person that you were when you came out of your mother's stomach. Everything
Right.
changes, grows, evolves, devolves, whatever the case may be. So let's get rid of the categories and focus on the problem. And the problem is that we need to come together so we can make it happen. Whether we talk about hair, leadership, single parent homes, whatever the situation is, at the end of the day, all this division is not going to make anything better. And while we're steady fighting and arguing over the division and who doing this and the black man this and the black man that, white man sitting back loving it, because at the end of the day, it's keeping us divided. So his systematic creation flourishes. And at this point,
Somebody got an echo.
we're the one. We're the number one producers of it. They don't even have to do nothing. They can just sit back and let us fight amongst each other.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, so I needed to know what was the topic of discussion first and foremost before I chime in, because I heard a little bit, right? I heard a little bit.
So the conversation started and it got sparked because of a meme that was posted on O'Shea Duke's YouTube. And basically it is of a black woman with a blonde weave or whatever and blonde hair, straightened hair, saying that my culture is not your hairstyle, and talking to a white woman with braids, and it's saying hypocrisy anyone. It started with me educating the panel on how we got here because of the European standard of beauty and how this was embedded and indoctrinated in us and how our hair was deemed as unkempt. I said there was a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural compliance. It's a difference from Black women complying and conforming to the European standards of beauty that we have been told since the test of time was not beautiful. Then a white woman appropriating our culture. It's totally two different things. But go ahead if you wanted to add to that.
Okay, yeah, because I was told by someone that part of it was about black men and being leaders in the community, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna try to put this together as best I can. So I would say, one, I agree with the sister Bianca, I believe it's her name, when she talked about us fighting with each other. That's never going to get the job done, right? Our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated. I also agree, and I think you even find this throughout the world when you talk about the history of colonialism, imperialism, racism, and slavery, that Europeans have gone around the globe and looked to systematically take the men that they are oppressing out of leadership positions, take them out of positions of authority so that the women and children could be vulnerable. Actually, you can see this in the Bible if you believe in the Bible. You find this in the Bible as well. They say, kill the men and we're going to enslave the women and children so that they could grow up under our type of views and thoughts and culture, etc. Right? So that they can engage in with a process of self-abnegation. So with that being said, I think it's very important that the concept and idea of beauty needs to come from ourselves, and that has to be inculcated in the household. So for example, growing up, I never saw my mom wear weave, fake hair, fake nails, fake eyelashes, and my mother was very beautiful. So it has to come from the home. And we all understand we're living under the system of racism and white supremacy, and where anti-Black racism is omnipresent. It's in education. You turn the television on, you're going to see negative, pejorative images of Black people. Entertainment, sports, politics, law, we see it all together, right? But it's important on us to have the wherewithal, to have the agency, to have the agency and the matrix of domination, as Patricia Hill Collins says in her seminal text, Black Feminist Thought, that we are able to overcome these ideas and these thoughts, and these logics and these processes in which we're valuing the dominant culture rather than our own. So I understand the history. I should, since I have a bachelor's and master's degree in Black studies, but it's still incumbent upon us to say we're not going to go along with this anymore because we know that the long-term effect will be detrimental. Just like, let's say if I was in college, I'm a young man, I'm 19, 20 years old, and I'm struggling financially. Well, I could go hit a lick, I could go get a pack and sell it, but the long-term consequence is going to be much worse when I'm getting 5 to 10 years in prison. So I think for us, we have to think of the long-term effects and ramifications of my actions rather than the short term, because I can say this, I had locks that just cut my hair and I changed my name, right? I've never been denied a job interview, never been denied a job I've actually interviewed for. I never had to worry about my hair keeping me from getting a job. So I would argue, because we live in a pluralistic society, that some of these things are simply internalized.
Okay, well, that point was made in the beginning of the stream, and I'm not sure if you came on late, but a lot of things that the Black women are conforming to have been internalized, and a lot of it is because of standards in the workplace that I laid out. Now, what you said is it starts from the home, yada, 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 which is great. But if I in my home tell my daughter that her hair is acceptable, and then my daughter goes to school and her school then tells her that it goes against dress code and policy, my daughter then goes to a job and says, hey, at this job, I'm going to wear my natural hair, and she is told that it goes against dress code regulations. That's the issue that we're talking about.
And that's where you see. That's where we have to have the wherewithal to what?
Okay,
to advocate, to sue,
and they have lost as well. There has been women who have sued and won, and there has been women who have sued and lost. So just because you
so you're saying because it's too hard, you should give up. That's what you're saying.
No, Bakari,
I didn't say that we should give up. I'm just saying that don't be unrealistic and say, oh, so my mama didn't wear a weave, so then you should be okay with not wearing a weave. When you go to school, your school tells you that is outside of dress code. When you go to work, they tell you that's unkempt and unprofessional.
Well, I don't care what my daughter's school says. She gonna wear her regular hair. She want to wear her regular hair.
Okay, but you still can't control how the school says she can or can't wear.
I can instill that pride in my daughter, though. That's what I can do.
We all have to be honest about this.
But when she goes into the workforce society, if you are not providing her the job, if your mama is not providing her the job, she is going to conform to European standards of beauty.
Well, she don't need to work for that racist organization then.
That's unrealistic. Hold on, let me say this, and I'm gonna be quiet. That's your viewpoints are unrealistic. You're not listening to what she's saying. You're just thinking of things to say. You're just thinking of things to say to combat it, or just to let her just say what she needs to say. Let me finish my statement. You're just talking to be talking. I want to go back to what Bakari said.
I didn't even say anything really. Come on, man.
Okay, anyway, so I want to go back to what he was saying. We are the product of the long-term things that we've been going through. You said earlier, like, if we keep on this route, that the repercussions is, will come later, but we are the product of all the things that we've been struggling for the last hundreds of years. We've had these discussions, panels after panels. You can find hundreds of videos going back. As far as you can think of us talking about the same thing. And my problem is with a lot of Black men is that we can be Black women can be compromising and supportive of their problems and what they're going through and how they feel and what their fight is. But it seems like they cannot grasp the thought of the things that we're going through. Like what she said.
It is not the Black man's fault that
Listen,
you're
let me
insecure
finish.
about rocking your
I got a
natural
couple
hair.
more sentences, then I'm done.
It's
Like
not.
she said, if y'all in a home and y'all kumbaya and talking about Black this, Black that, but when she goes to school, her principal is Black. Her school is owned by, her principal is white. Her school is owned by white people. You can't say, well, don't work or don't go to that school. We're in America. Everything is predominantly owned by white people. That's unrealistic.
Real
Can I ask
quick.
Bakari a question?
Real quick
Yeah,
before that,
I was
though.
like,
Before
Okay,
that,
okay.
though,
I
can I
have
make
a
a
question
point?
for Mr. Bakari
All
because
right,
he's
so
an expert
one
in this
thing
space.
we
He's
all
an
have to admit right now, now more than ever in history, that fight that we've been fighting, those conversations we've been having, they've led to Black people, our natural hair, our natural melanin being accepted and promoted now more than it ever has in history. I mean, there's national companies that have whole campaigns, whether it's pandering or not, whether these laws that are changing in schools are just PR or not, it's happening. Right, that's something that people are and they have fought for. So we have to respect that fight. We can't just keep going backwards to say, "Oh well, I can't do this." Part of that
We
is
are
that
going backwards because it's 2021 and we're still having the same debate and we're still getting chastised from
because
society,
we
plus
debating
our
it
Black
instead of
men
people just
on
doing
our
what
own
they need to
hair.
do. If you want to rock your natural hair, rock it. If
Stop
somebody
blaming the
gives you
Black
a
man.
compliment,
Black men
you
want
have
you
to
to rock your
give it.
natural
When
hair.
can we
Okay,
blame
But
y'all?
now
I
more
mean,
than
for
You
ever,
don't
God's
rock
that's
it
sake,
why
because
we
you're
people
can't
insecure
blame
about
y'all for
rocking it.
nothing.
just like
We
young lady
can't.
that
Stop.
I
Y'all
interviewed
can't
on
take
television.
Stop.
responsibility
I
for
Doctor
see,
nothing.
I see the
And
mayor.
y'all are
I
the
see all
victims,
types of
and
people in
everybody
high
else is
prominent
against y'all.
positions
Can
with a
y'all please
natural
do
hair.
something?
You can't just keep using an excuse about what the
Blaming the
white
Black
man
man
did,
ain't
the
gonna
white
solve
man
your problem,
did.
shorty.
You
Yeah,
can't
but
just keep
helping
blaming
them
it on
ain't
the
gonna
white
solve
man. At
nothing
some
either.
point, we
So
have
what
to
else
switch
do we
on.
got?
All right, one
Yeah,
at a time.
helping yourself
Can I
obviously
ask?
not
I
helping
need
you.
to ask the doctor a question. I just want to ask a question because we have a doctor here, right? We have someone who
Yes.
actually studied this, so I want to talk to him about something real quick. So you mentioned a lot of things that perked my ears. The first thing that you mentioned was that your Black love for your Black skin was instilled within you in the household, right? You mentioned that your mother never wore weave, she didn't wear eyelashes or fake nails. This is a two-part question. The first part is about your mother. Was her hair straight or was it in its natural state?
Both.
Okay. Now, was she staying at home? Was she a home worker? Like, was she a home mom,
Hold
or
on.
did she go into the corporate workplace?
So it was both. So I'm the youngest of three children. And my parents had us all 3 years apart. So at first, my mom was a stay-at-home mom until I was maybe third, fourth grade. Then my mom went back into the workforce. But even then, she still wore natural hair, so on and so forth. But I think, but also, and part of it was the fact that my parents, on a regular basis, instilled in us the pride in being Black, the pride of us being beautiful. I can give an example. I remember being 6, 7 years old, and my dad would always throw a Super Bowl party for my brother and I. And there was a Cindy Crawford commercial, Pepsi commercial. My brother said, "Oh, she's pretty." I said, "No, she's not." He said, "Yes, she is." I said, "No, she's not." My dad said, "Why isn't Cindy Crawford pretty?" I said, "She's white. Only Black women are pretty like Mommy and Naomi."
Okay,
Right?
I get that. I get that. The reason
this
why
is
I asked that for a reason, because for example, a lot of people who say, well, my mom's never wore weave, whatever, but they did straighten their hair, and straightening their hair is a part of appropriation. I mean, it's a part of assimilation. So I mean, so even though you say that you did not, you say that your experience was that she was a natural woman. Technically, if she was straightening her hair, she was still assimilating to the white supremacy culture. She was doing that to go to work. Another thing that you said that brought up a really good point
Well,
to
she
me
didn't do it to
was
go to
what you
work,
said.
though.
Another thing that you said was that you said that when you go into the workplace as a handsome Black man as you are, that you don't have any issues getting a job, that you don't have any issues applying, getting a job. I understand that you're very articulate and you present yourself well. I understand that. But you mentioned that your name was changed and you didn't have an issue with that as well. I have to counter that because I'm looking at your name. Your name is Bakari Lumumba, right? If that's your legal name that you go by, you on paper, as someone who actually does HR and does like that, on paper you look African. You do not look African American, and that's a big difference. Because if your name was Jabari Johnson, you probably would have a very different experience than Mr.
Well, I'm just saying that because that's what people were pushing when I changed my name. People were like, "You ain't gonna be able to get a job. You ain't gonna be able to get a job." And because normally I would walk around in African garb. I mean, most people call me Malcolm X reincarnated, right? So there was just a lot of people that were saying things that basically, if I can make my point very briefly, there was an argument being made by members of my family, not my immediate family, but even colleagues, that the more you embrace your African heritage, the more you're going to be rejected by the dominant society. So,
not
I
necessarily
was
here,
able to
because
show that
if you're other Black here, you actually get praised. So if you're from another country here, you get praised.
Well, but I want to say this. I don't want to speak in any type of broad generalities, right? Oftentimes, yes, if I could, yes, there is an embrace of African immigrants because of the assumption that they're ignorant to the racialized oppression that has gone on for centuries here. Just like when black people would go to Europe or France, etc.
Exactly.
French people hate Africans, right? All the coups they implemented in West Africa, but they love us, Josephine Baker, Sugar Ray Robinson, because there is a belief that we are ignorant of the racialized oppression that has gone on for centuries of our brothers and sisters across the pond. But I will say this, and I'm gonna be quiet. But if you become cognizant, if you're an African immigrant living in America, you become cognizant of the racialized politics in America. If you're African American living in Europe and you become cognizant of the racialized politics in Europe and the history of colonialism, they will reject your ass just like they've done us all over the world. So I think it's just important that we understand why those things are taking place, and it is really another form of trying to play against each other.
Thank you so much for answering my questions. I just wanted to get more clarification on that because I didn't want to leave that on the table for someone to pull that and say, well, this is what he said. Well, there's caveats to it. And I think that a lot of people aren't understanding or discussing the caveats. And when it comes to Mr. Jermaine, you didn't necessarily, when you said the statement of, well, my daughter's not going to have to deal with that, Neek is very correct.
I never said my daughter was not going to have to deal with that.
No, you said that you actually said that when we were talking about our hair, you said, well, my daughter can wear whatever she wants.
I said I'm going to make her feel prideful about rocking her natural hair. That's what I said.
But you make her feel prideful. But once she steps outside, once she turns on the TV,
because it's my responsibility as a father.
Once she opens up TikTok, once she opens up Instagram, it's going to tell her something different.
But if I'm instilling pride in her, it doesn't matter what TikTok, Instagram, YouTube says.
But you're only going to be
This is what you're not understanding. This is what you're not understanding.
That's not enough.
It's going to be enough. If you raise your child and instill pride in them about being prideful about themselves, you don't have to worry about the outside world.
You have parents who provide a good, sound household for their children. You have people who are big on education.
All parents are not strong parents.
They are big on principles and beliefs. They are big on instilling morals and values in their children, and their children walk out into their schools with their peers who they are influenced by, and they go and commit stupid acts based on peer pressure. So for you to act as though
that's peer pressure.
There's peer pressure, there's influence, there's society influence. For you to act like your influence on your child is the only influence is ignorant. I
did not say it was the only influence. I said it's going to be the greatest influence.
How? Because
I'm going to make damn sure it's the greatest. That's my responsibility as a parent.
Ego. You have an inflated
ego. It's not inflated. It's my responsibility as a parent. If you don't know how to raise your seed, it's not my problem.
I don't have any seed.
Well, that's not my problem then.
Mr. Bakari, you can go.
I raise my seed correct. You can't. That's your problem.
I would like to interject real quick if I could.
I'm gonna let you speak, Bacardi. It's not about not raising your children right. There are people who raise their children right and stored morals, values. There are people who grew up Muslim. There are people who grew up.
How many two-parent households do we have in the Black community?
There are people who grew up in two-parent households.
How many two-parent households do we have in the Black community?
And you're not growing up in one things. You can get influenced by society. You get influenced by pressure of your peers.
And exactly. You can get influenced by society. And coming from a one-parent household, you're more easily to get influenced by society.
No, that's not
This
true.
is the problem in the black community.
That's not true.
We don't have stable family structures.
I know people who come from 2-parent households where the father was an alcoholic.
There is anecdotal evidence for everything. Your anecdotal evidence does not derive the fact. The fact is 2-parent households raise children to be more functional.
All these mass shooters came from 2-parent households, but they still shooting up the place.
Look, 2-parent households are scientifically proven to produce better children. You can't deny that fact.
I'm not denying that fact, but what I'm saying is
well, that's what you're trying to do right now.
No, I'm not. I never said that because I said that from the very beginning, Jermaine.
No, so you think coming from a broken home leads you into a better life situation?
No, she's not saying that.
Bakari, go ahead.
Ain't making no sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one last tidbit in because I'm gonna have to go, and then I'm gonna shut out my YouTube channel where we try to facilitate some of these conversations as well. But I would say this, that in the household, yes, it is very important to set the foundation in the home. We also know that children are susceptible to being influenced by what? Society as a whole, television, the classmates, so on and so forth. One of the things that I've done with my children, particularly my daughter, but my son as well, is I have worked to actually create situations where they have to go through adversity. So I'm gonna give you an example. When my daughter was 4, again, when she was 8, I had her do the infamous doll test. Each time she picked the black doll was pretty, beautiful, smart, etc. I said, why? She said, because that's a doll that looks like me. I've also prepared my daughter, just like when I used to box, right? When I used to box, my trainer used to kill me. He used to go hard, and I'm like, yo, why are you doing this? He said, because I'm going to give it to you hard now. When you get in the ring, your fight will be easy. So I think some of the ways that we could do that with our children is preparing them for the adversity that we're going to face. So I've worked with my daughter and told her, when you go outside, you're going to be told that you're ugly. You're going to be told that you got to be told you have a big nose, that your hair is ugly, that it's unprofessional, that black women have never accomplished anything. You know what my daughter said? She was able to give a retort, not based on how she felt, but based on facts. You know why? Because she's a budding bibliophile. And she knows that she comes from a long history and lineage of black women, not only here in America or in the Western world, but even on the continent who have accomplished great things. So she said, well, that ain't true, because I know about Queen Mother Moore. I know about Mary Church Terrell.
And who taught all that, black man? Who taught all that, black man? You did. I did. Thank you. Because you was a strong ass father.
But what I want to say is the way that we help our children fight against the vices in society.
How old are your children, sir?
Well, my son is 13 now. My daughter's 11, right? But the way that we can fight that is by
how old was she when you guys had this doll test conversation?
Well, the first time we did the doll test, she was 4. The second time was 8.
Thank you.
But what I want to say is, before I wrap it up, is that the way we can fight against that peer pressure is by manufacturing adversity in the home. So that it's almost like when you are in any type of sport, you tend to do well when your coach prepares you for what's going to happen in the game. So they know this is what's coming. They will be prepared for it when it actually happens. When I know that the guy's going to throw the jab, I know how to slip the jab. I know how to parry the jab and throw the hook, the counter, because we practice in training. We should do the same thing in the homes with our children, so that when they face these type of these microaggressions of anti-black racism in the real world, it has no effect on them. They knew it was coming, and they're able to swim without getting wet. Right. So I have to go, but please, if you get a chance, look me up on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube, Bakari Lumumba. My YouTube channel is Lumumba Speaks. I appreciate you all. Peace.
All right.
Thank you.
I just wanted to. Hi, Nick. I've been waiting to speak for quite a while. I wanted to add. I feel like with the Black community, I just feel like it's kind of like a lack of identity. Like when we talk about being Black, I feel like who are we as Black people? Are we African? Who are we? I think the identity of us is like missing. I think that's the biggest part of it. Like, I don't feel like it's enough to just be like, I'm a Black person. There's so much more to me. So like, I am biracial. How Black I am, I really don't know. I don't know my real dad. I didn't grow up with my real family. So for me, it's always been a point of mine to learn who I am as a Black person. And it's very hard to feel pride. And I'm not saying like I'm not proud to be Black. I'm saying for anybody, Mexicans, Natives, they're proud to be who they are and are able to accomplish more because of their pride, because they were able to learn their ancestors. One thing that I had learned about Native history and why they're so successful and how they're so unified was because when they went through their genocide, they had like their elders pretty much keep all of their information, like their language. They were like tortured and tried to be brainwashed to not know who they were, but they held on to that. Us in the Black community, I feel like how do we know who we are? Like nobody is really telling us who we are. They're just telling us the problems, and we know we have problems. And I just feel like even when we talk about like the Bible, we're so disconnected to the Bible, but I do feel like when they talk about the Bible that they're telling us who we are and we just ignore it. Instead, we keep focusing on the negatives that we have that's right in front of us, but we don't even realize that why can't we be the people that are separated from our land, you know? And why can't we figure out how come we were enslaved, you know? Like, I just feel like when we talk about who we are, we have to know that we're more than just a color. We keep saying we're black, but what is that? Like, we need to know who we are, and then we can get to fighting our fight, because we have no idea what the fight is. And then we know it's systematic racism, but why are they keeping us down? Why are they saying that we are less valued? Our hair is strong. We can do so much to our hair. We can straighten it, we can curl it, we can braid it. We can do all these things to our hair. That's why I wear my natural hair. Like, I really love my hair. Like, I don't feel embarrassed. I don't care what nobody says. I've had people tell me my hair is beautiful because I learned how to take care of it. Because I felt like, okay, why am I going to hide who I am for these people who don't even like understand me? I have to tell them who I am so that way they can understand me. So I grew up in a community full of Mexicans. I didn't grow up with no Black people, but I had the desire to know who I am as a Black person. And I feel like I'm coming to a head of what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to unify. We are supposed to stop telling Black men that they're not good enough, because Black men are going through the same issue we are. They're lost just like we are, and they're trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
And they can't find themselves when all they're doing is being put down for the stuff that is consequential. Like, people are really suffering out here, and we know this, and you're getting mad because this person is suffering. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like when we talk about slavery, we have so much empathy for slavery. They were hurt and beaten, and they went through all this stuff, and they had that empathy to know that Black man is suffering because of the abuse that he's enduring. Now we know in this time that we're going through manipulative abuse, where somebody's telling us we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, like we're not valued, our skin is ugly, you know, and we're hurting each other. That's why we're staying down. And here's another thing. I started getting into cryptocurrency and investing. And
wait. I don't want to get too far off topic. Right. I hear you. I think.
All I was gonna say about that is that I feel like all we need to do is tell each other like how to do it. Like, I'm not gonna get into teaching anybody anything about that because I'm new to it and I don't really know too much about it, but I'm learning it. And I feel like you should, like, you know, spread the word on any knowledge that you have. You know, like, if you know how to be successful, don't be like, you know, like they ain't cut out for it. I feel like spread the word on how to be successful, you know?
Okay.
Because once you do that, then we can build, you know? Because like people that are celebrities, like
All right, we don't want to. I'm gonna let Netta speak because I want to wrap it up. Go ahead, Netta.
Okay. Hello, Neek.
Hey.
Hi. I just want to say a couple.
Go ahead.
I was. I'm just hearing right now just people arguing. Instead of us arguing, we need to just come up with a solution. Instead of just arguing against each other. We need to stop blaming black men for everything, just like black women need to stop blaming black men for everything.
All right.
We both got fault actors.
And I think that's the main point that I was trying to say.
Yeah, I agree with that, Bianca. I agree with
Ray,
that.
was there anything else that you wanted to add besides you gonna tell your daughter something?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Oh, I made my point. My point was proved.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I definitely believe we got to come together, and we're all in this together, really. So we're already together, but we just got to stop pointing fingers and letting, some of the divisive, like, tactics work against us. And, like, ultimately, we got to give each other the same compassion that we want, right? So even if this is something that maybe, bothers some women or triggers some women, it's just the same way where you have things that you don't like against us men. And we just need to not take it to a level where we're then pointing fingers and making character judgments and all this other stuff that essentially is wrong because it's generalizations at the end of the day. So you can't, judge anybody else that you're not experiencing firsthand, just like they can't judge you. So, we just got to give each other the same compassion that we want. That comes when conversations, that comes to jokes, that comes to, platforms and everything. So, I definitely want to let all the women know that as a black man who does kind of engage in that space, I don't have anything against black women fundamentally, and I, support and think you guys should be, protected, just like I would want my sister or my daughter protected if I had one. And I think that's how it has to apply for everybody.
All right. I'm going to let Sierra say something. Please keep it really short and brief. I don't want to go past 2 hours 30 minutes. I didn't want to go this long. And then in EMI. So Sierra, keep it real brief because I'm wrapping it up.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I feel like with black men, I feel like they don't have the support that us black women have. I feel like they don't get pretty much a good look in the media like a lot of black women. Like we have good hair gurus. I mean, not good hair, but black hair gurus, how we get taught how to grow our hair, love our hair. I feel like they don't have that enough. And that's why I feel like, to be brief, that's why I feel like they can't be the men that they probably wish that they can be, or a good version of themselves, pretty much. All right, EMI?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we need to stop, like, just being, I guess, historical kings, quote unquote, kings and queens. Like, we actually have to progress and be something in society and stop just trying to argue with each other and work something out and build our communities and not put each other down over stuff that happened in the past. Like, and for one, like the king and queen thing, like not everybody and not every black person in Africa was a king and not every black person in Africa was a queen too. So we just need to progress and look into something that makes sense. That's all I gotta say.
All right. So on that note, I guess we will wrap there. Third, Russell, was there something that you wanted to add on the end? Are we wrapping up?
Yeah, just wrapping it up. I understand that a lot of y'all still into the unifying thing. I'm gonna be a little negative Nancy for a second. I understand that y'all still pushing that thing, but I think we way past that. I think we've been talking about solutions long enough for there not to be some serious change. I think you just need to focus on yourself and build up what you can control. And anybody that's not for you as black women, forget it, whether it's black men or anybody else. I think black women need to continue to team up with each other, focus on each other, and that other stuff can go by the wayside. That's it.
Okay, I disagree with that. I think that black women and black men should not be divisive. And I do not think that we should steer away from unity. I think that until we see a change, we need to keep on talking about it. I don't think that we should just give up and say, you know what, to heck with black men. We just gonna go out and get white men or whatever. I think that I feel like we can address each other. I feel like these conversations are necessary. And I feel like although we did not come to a solution in this particular conversation, I feel like there are conversations that can be sparked that can get us closer to a solution. So I don't agree, but I do respect your outlook. And on that note, we will wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And thank you everybody who came on. TW was a key for me.
Bring her back. Bring her back.
Me. It was TW for me. No, I was kidding. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have not checked out my website, it's spelled exactly like my channel, www.neekatnight.com. And on that note, we out. Peace.